Good evening, everybody. Welcome to our third edition of TCHLive, and tonight we continue with the day 4 of the Chris Money Celebrity Poker Series here at Texas Card House with a 5-5 Pot Limit Omaha cash game. Twice the cards of Hold'em and twice the action. As we take you here to our state-of-the-art feature table as our TCH players get the chance to do battle with 2003 main event champion Chris Moneymaker. As we welcome back old friends and new, this is TCHLive. Well, excited to be here for this as we get started in our 5-5 cash game of Pot Limit Omaha. And, if you're well versed in this game or if you're brand new to this game, we certainly hope we have a lot to provide to you. A lot of exciting action, a lot of chips on the table. And, a couple of days of doing Hold'em. Excited just to kind of see what we're going to see out of our Omaha players tonight. Are we going to see crazy hand combinations, going to see wild bluffs, or are we going to see things that are pretty straightforward? And looking forward to seeing what kind of hand combos out there as everybody getting their chance to go in a cash game here against Chris Moneymaker, who made his living as a Hold'em player, but as a cash gamer, he has always leaned towards the Omaha side of things and the mixed game side of things, and certainly excited to see here what we will have in store for us. My name is Mike Youngblood. Thank you so much for tuning in and subscribing here to our TCH channel. Last I checked, just over 250 subscribers in just a couple of days. Views off the charts. We thank you so much for joining us wherever you have been, and the great feedback that you've given to myself and production team, and production team working 30 times as hard as I have to even for this. So hats off to the work that they've done, and our dealers as well, and our dealers out on the floor too. Had a terrific weekend at the Chris Moneymaker Celebrity Series. Some tournaments that had huge entries and a packed house here at Texas Card House, and players continuing to come in here on a Monday night, which tends to be a busy one for us, is going to have our $150 tournament out in the main area here tonight, but tonight we feature our 5-5 PLO game as we see our first couple of hands. Drew giving up a King-Jack kind of junk. The champ there with Ace-King 8-7 with a suited ace. Certainly reasonable. And Swim there with I like this hand here, a double suited Queen-Jack 10-7. Bones also here in action. Flash with us. Marco. We've got Westfall. Right kind of combination of action players and guys who can mix it up. And we've got action here on our first flop. Ace King 5. 2 hearts. Top 2 pair here for the champ. And a straight draw and flush draw here for Swim and C2. And along with it, and a bet of 300 here on the turn. Slide advantage, but in this game, with all the kind of combinations that a player can have, or backup draws, it makes for a lot of wild action. I'm looking forward to seeing what we will have in store for us tonight. As the river is going to come a 4 of hearts, perfect card here for Swim. He, however, does have a jack-high flush draw, which there's a couple of flush draws that do actually beat him, but in this case, when we see the cards, we know champ here with a straight and going to try to make a value bet, but as we can see here, Swim kind of put in a position here that it's a really tough play to make a raise. He's certainly not going to get him to fold a better hand, and he's just going to call it here on the end with his jack-high flush. As we'll see the good news, and we'll ship some chips his way at our first hand of Pot Limit Omaha here on TCHLive on a Monday, a beautiful Monday here in Austin, Texas. Kind of one of those things in January, you wonder if this is real life. As great to be here at Texas Card House. We had a terrific weekend, and this is day 4 of the Moneymaker Celebrity Poker Series. Chris spent a lot of time with our players, and just an overall jovial, good guy to have in a room, cracking jokes, answering questions, taking pictures. Just a great boost here to our Texas Card House, North Austin location. And we have 3 locations throughout the state of Texas, if you're tuning in wherever you may be. If you go out into Houston, we've got a location out in Spring, Texas, in the North Houston area. If you want to follow them on Instagram, you can do so, tch.htx, located at 1411 Spring Cypress Road. And open up a new location also at TCH Rio Grande Valley, to our new location in Edinburgh, Texas. And to learn more about them, you can visit our Instagram at tch.rgv. Drew going to call here with Ace King at Jack 8, suited Ace King of clubs. Bones coming along with a 10-10-9-7 flash with naked kings and a 7 deuce hanger with it is all pretty reasonable here. Kyle on the big blind with a suited ace 7-4-3. Actually, here in the small blind is got Rudy. Flop's going to come a 6-3 deuce. Kyle's got the best hand, technically by the percentages. We do not know what the champ's hand there is in seat number 10. But at this point, Kyle's draw is currently best, as we'll turn a queen of spades, top pair on the board. Top 2, excuse me, with queens and 6s. And Moneymaker, as it's checked to him, is going to make a bet. And it looks like it's going to get folded around. Okay, what is Marco? Okay, Marco has got... so we have retracked the action here. Marco had led the turn with the possibility his queen might be good, and Moneymaker came right over the top, so not so fast, my friend. And take down a nice pot here in our second hand of Pot Limit Omaha action. And you see right there, there's a lot of multi-ways, whereas I think when you get up into the higher stakes and no limit, the players are just so sharp on the edges that they're going to try to raise a lot of hands to isolate, to get more heads up and three-handed. And PLO, some of these games they just price you in with even hands that are, you got 3 really good card combinations. You might have a 4th card that doesn't do you much, but I'm gonna be just really interested to see what people decide to do in their respective positions, as far as, okay, I'm not gonna play junkier hands out of position, but if it gets later to me, that this is certainly more reasonable to play and take a chance on. And Bone's gonna open here with a 9-8-8-6, suited 9-6 of diamonds. Well, just a terrific Hold'em and Omaha player. So grind some of the circuit as well. Happy to have him here on our 3rd edition of TCHLive as we follow the action. See Flash and Marco there. Flash with his trademark cigarette. We do not allow smoking inside the room, but always kind of a cool aesthetic. I always kind of feel like that's I don't encourage you to smoke or anything, but like the old Sammy Farhad days is Westfall with ace 5 deuce suited ace 5 on the button. We're reading our cards here. It looks like we're going to go 4 ways to a flop. Drew also in there with the 9-7-5-3. And flop is going to come Queen Jack 7, 2 diamonds. Diamond draw for Bones. Kyle's got the naked ace of diamonds, and he's going to check back here on the flop. Turn comes a 10. Straight now for Rudy. Bones has got the bottom end of it. And he's going to put out a feeler bet of 60 into a pot of 80. Kyle may choose to call, trying to represent that ace of diamonds, if a diamond does happen to come, but I feel like this is going to be a raise coming. Now you have Rudy in seat number 8, and here it goes. Gonna make a pot bet, raise it up here to an additional 200, and situation where he's definitely got to protect his hand. Is Kyle's also got the ace-high flush draws to go with his pair of aces, but as we can see, his aces are no good. He's got no full house outs, and Bones makes a standard lay down there. A lot of straight combos that beat him, and it's likely his flush, and Kyle's going to give it up. As good check raise there by the man at seat 8, Rudy. And if the hand can play out for you like that, where it's super vulnerable like that, that is an action board. 2 flush draws. Yeah, in this game, that you do exactly what you have to do there, is let the pot build up a little bit and then make a raise that tries to price your opponents out of it. And sometimes the hands, the draws get so thin, or they get the margins between the hands get to be so thin that guys are just going to be willing to gamble, because it's really a 50-50 once you get down a couple of streets. And as you see, Chris Moneymaker joining us on our featured table. If you want to get on the list, you can certainly do so. Try to get in this game tonight. You can give us a call at 512-956-7195. Also got some 1-2 no limit hold'em action here in the early evening hours at Texas Card House. 1-3 game going as well. Marco going to raise it up with a 9, 8-8-6, 8-6 of diamonds. Swim going to involve the 7-7-6-3, Drew with 8-8-5-5. And Kyle's got jacks. Nobody with an ace in their hand as we go to a flop of ace, deuce, ace. Kyle's got the best hand with jacks and aces, but between a field of 5 players, his hand is pretty vulnerable, and their turn's a deuce. 3 of a kind deuces with a king. Again, he doesn't have a full house because he's got to play 2 cards in his hand. And he'll flip his cards up as Westfall will take a pot. Now about 105 chips to it. As and I think in this game, that's not a traditionally good PLO hand. You're not going to try to raise with it, or you're not going to try to build a pot with it. But when you're in late position and everybody's kind of afraid of each other's hand combos, that's reasonable to try to take a flop on, maybe make a hand with, but yeah, with a board like that, left them vulnerable enough there that winning a small pot's not a bad deal. And again, our blinds 5 and 5. See just how many straddles we get tonight. For players that may not be as familiar with the game, it is pot limit. You can only bet up to the size of the pot. So in a standard 5-5 game, if it's a first raise coming in, it's going to be $20 the max, and then any player can choose to repot it, which is 3 times that last bet plus whatever is left in the pot. Is generally the easiest way to calculate it. Is Chris Moneymaker going to open off the straddle with a 6-5-5 forward? Drew getting in there with queens and a king 5 suited of hearts. So we can see most he can raise there is 40. We'll see who tags along here. Does small pot Bruin Swim, actually, a really nice hand. Queen, Jack, 10-9 of hearts. His flop is going to come ace, king, 6 with 2 clubs. Swim's got a straight draw. Drew technically has the best hand with a pair of kings and a queen kicker. And Moneymaker is going to make a bet. And we'll get called as we go to the turn. Turn's going to come a 9. Now a pair of 9s. Here for Swim as they go heads up. Check and check. And on the last card here on the river, 3 of diamonds. Inconsequential. Now the pair of 9s looking like the best hand here for Swim. And if Moneymaker wants to take a stab at this, he certainly can, because if he figures his opponent's maybe got a club draw, or maybe a king or a weak ace that didn't 2-pair, there's a lot of hands that he can represent as it's checked to him. And that's why position is so valuable. I mean, it's set to death, I think, in the no-limit side, and it's certainly valid, but, its importance and significance multiplies in a game like this where the unpredictability of what your opponent has, boy, I mean, it just goes way up in this game. So that is why this is such a thrill to broadcast here for you tonight on TCHLive. Here in our North Austin location, come visit us at 13 at 376 North Highway 183. And if you are a new subscriber, or if you've not subscribed yet, you can earn 1 free hour of play here at Texas Card House by showing us that you have subscribed to TCHLive. And so far, over about, 250 of you have gotten it so far. Thank you for being with us. Marco now here with ace, queen at jack as premium as you get a hand in PLO high. Double suited as well as Kyle here in the danger zone with king 996. Rudy here with ace 9, 3 deuce. Suited in spade, and Swim very reasonable ace 5, jack 10 suited in clubs as we go 4 ways to a flop. Boom, queen, deuce. Marco has slammed this flop as he's flopped 3 of a kind and a king high flush draw. 3 queens with an ace. And with a pot of 85, he's going to bet 75 as Westfall gets out of the way with his lower diamond draw. And that was just kind of a hand that played itself. As you see our chip counts there. Swim and Moneymaker with the highest stacks. Trish been getting a healthy dose of PLO the last couple of days here. Even playing on Saturday up until about 7 in the morning. And got to deal a couple of those rounds. He's a really funny guy. Like, he's just there joking with you. And for somebody who kind of reaches status, it still just kind of feels like an everyday dude. It's just a real blessing to have him here in our room at Texas Card House. $10 straddle looks like, or as Drew has got aces with a suited ace king and a 9. Also invite you to chat with us here in the chat box. Champ here in C10 with a suited ace queen. And see what everybody else got. Certainly, if Marco wants to raise things up here with a 6-6-5-4, he could get creative. As you see, players getting used to the RFID technology. Gets a little trickier, I think, with 4 cards, so And flop's going to come Queen Jack 7. Ace is still the best hand, and a straight draw here for Broadway for Drew, and backdoor diamonds as well, as Flash has got a gutter ball. And the champ has got top pair and an inside straight draw as well. It's queens and eights. Now here for the champ. Open-ended straight draw here for Flash with a 6-5 and Marco, but it's kind of a game where any of those non-nut draws, they're just more trouble than they're worth often at times. As Westfall's going to make a bet, though, and everybody will go away, as a board where two pair is pretty vulnerable, and we keep it on moving here on TCHLive. Chris Moneymaker with us. We had the final table streamed on late Saturday night. Mike Younglett, Sam Von Kennel there with a commentary. It's great to have Uncle Sam with us here. It's just, a guy who's part of starting all of this, and just kind of get to reflect all that, and just see what all of this has grown because of everyone here. That it's certainly a blessing every day, and we hope you woke up on Monday feeling pretty good. So make a change here as Tim coming on in near the box. Shout out to him and Carolyn. Carolyn working the action tracker for us. It's been stellar, and we, if you see her, give her a big thank you and praise, because without our production team, everybody's saying nice things to me and the quality, but boy, it's tough to pull that off without so many different hands helping each other. There you see our action players, the amount of money voluntarily put in the pot. Only about 7 to 8 hands or so, but Swim has taken in the most money when he made a jack high flush, so he's up about 495. As again, everybody starts with 4 cards in their hand, and for hold'em players, especially the younger players, that I'm kind of surprised, because they're really smart kids, and they're maybe a little apprehensive about the game, because they just feel like if you're not an expert at things, you can't learn it, or maybe those lessons might get a little expensive in a couple of games. But anybody who's got an expertise can learn it. Just play good hands. Try to pick up on weakness where you can. Play in position, and try to maximize your draws and your any value bets you can make when you've got the best hand. Bone's going to raise it up in position here on the button with Queen 998. Now, with the straddle raising in position, it just puts you in such better position to try to represent something to some players that, especially out of position, they got to make a hand, and goes check all the way around. It's going to turn a spade flush from Marco, who's got a virtual lock. Bones has made a 9-high flush, and the champ is going to be the one who leads the turn, as he's got a straight draw, and he's also got the queen of spade in his hand. And I'll go check and call. Board pairs here on the river, and Marco's might be feeling a little twinge in his stomach here as the champ tries to make a bluff bet on the end. He turned top pair and has a straight draw. It kind of figures, okay, maybe Marco's got lower spades, but And he's going to muck it as Marco scoops a nice pot here with the ace-king 10-5, 3 spades in his hand. And it can only use 2 of them, so just realize that, you know, when we have these broadcasts, we're speaking to different levels of players, where, you know, you might have a recreational player that you just start bringing up to them concepts that may be not as familiar, and you may have some expert players that, you know, they have known more poker than I mean, they have forgotten more about the game than which I know currently. So we're aiming just to really trying to be able to speak to all levels to and give you a broadcast experience that, you know, either feel entertained, informed, learn a little bit more about the personalities that we have here at TCH, and hopefully have some fun. So if you want to have fun with us here in the chat box, keep it semi-respectable. Here is our chat box here on TCHLive. Certainly all right to roast some of your friends here too, but keep it somewhat PG-13. And if you want to follow us on Instagram, to also do so, tch.atx, and otherwise check out texascardhouse.com to be linked to any of our card rooms here throughout the great state of Texas. Is Moneymaker raising it up with a suited King 9 at Jack 5. Westfall here with Queen 10, 10, 3, double suited. Marco with the Ace 9, 6, 5 as we go to a flop. Queen, deuce, deuce. Westfall with the best hand, pair of queens and a 10 kicker. Moneymaker going to continue with a bet of 50. And that's a value of buying in for a lot of chips, is you've got a lot of jabs that you can make towards pots where, you know, Westfall has a little bit more behind him. You know, maybe he can call the bet there and just try to see what Chris does, because, I mean, a good rule of thumb is the more players in the hand, the more likely your hand is vulnerables. But, you know, you can play junkier hands when you get, you know, maybe 2 and 3 ways, and you're not trying to dodge a minefield of combinations that scare the crap out of you. Because Moneymaker and Swim both with about 3,400. Marco also sitting here with 2,600. Straddles have been active. Moneymaker long been a fan of Pot Limit Omaha after he won the World Series in 2003. Also finished 10th in the 5K PLO bracelet event, the 2004 World Series of Poker. He's also got a Pot Limit Omaha title in 2009. Won that tournament, and so took first in a Monte Carlo 8-game EPT back in 2013 on the European Poker Tour. All right, we've got 5 players coming here to a flop off the straddle. Swim with a pair of suited kings. Flop comes Queen, Queen 10. 3 of a kind here for Rudy. 3 of a kind here for Moneymaker. And he's going to bet 60. A pot size bet. Certainly Chris is going to be... Oh, wow, Chris is actually going to give his hand up. And that's the other part, too, is that, you know, when you're playing non-primo hands, you're going to have the ability to toss away some good hands and trust your instincts. And Chris probably figuring, okay, I've only got 2 8s to draw to. Now I'm either drawing to a 9, which, I mean, this player could already be beating me. Barbosa62 asking, where in the room is this? Can't tell. Is it one of the private rooms? Actually, it is out on the main floor by the back pool tables. And, I mean, this is an open table. I mean, we do have a different policy as regards to, if a player or group of players decides to buy the private room and they make their game a private game, that they can keep their choice of players as if to who they want to play. But certainly open to our members to come on and join the list on our 5-5 game tonight. As you walk into the main entrance, you'll see it right there, right in front of you. And Marco feeling good here with some aces, but just going to call as no suited combos. He's got ace, 10-10. Swim to raise it up with a jack 9, 8-8. Westfall's got a queen, jack 9-8. As Moneymaker with the mystery hand is... We go 5 ways to a flop, queen at 10, at deuce, a set of 10s for Marco. Swim with a straight draw here with this jack 9-8. And with a dry board. Westfall's got enough of a hand here to call. He may even decide to pop this up as... And he's flopped an open-ended straight draw. He's got backdoor diamonds. As we can see, he's the only diamond draw out of this remaining group of 4. And he's going to give it up. Marco had called him here in position with the second set. He might figure if Marco's drawing or if any of these players are drawing, they may have better straight draws than him. Or all right, turn is going to come a 7. More outs here for Swim into a pot of 300 as he'll bet the size of the pot. And Marco's going to keep the pot small as the only hand he could really be concerned about is a top set of queens. And now Swim is made before the flop, bet on the flop, on the turn, now has made a straight, but ace-jack straight beats him. He's going to exercise some pot control, maybe try to get some value out of Marco if he feels like he may bet a lesser hand. And the way it's played out, Marco might actually seriously feel like he has the best hand here. Excellent check there by Swim to try to trap Marco. Now it's just a matter of... I don't think he's going to fold here, but he might take into account any of the combo of hands that Marco had called since he, did not make a 3-bet with his aces. And as we can see, Swim has the best hand, but when you get into these cash games, you see a big bet at 550 there on the river. That's not as easy of a decision as you think it is. He's worried about the ace-jack. And he's trying to figure out what he can bet there on the end with the card that came that... He's got the chips out. He's going to have to push it forward to officially be a call. And we'll make the call as just going to see his best hand. Best hand he could possibly have asked for Marco to have as a set. And I don't necessarily blame Marco there because, you even wonder if he makes the bet a little bit higher that the decision for Swim gets a little bit more difficult, but when he bets half the pot, it looks like a value bet. So I'm kind of sitting there thinking like, oh, did I make a mistake here? But makes the call on the end and gonna chip up even some more as Barbosa 62 saying sorry about your Timberwolves this year. It is that's a nice part about me is that they're really the only team like I root for and I live and die by is the Minnesota Vikings. But everything else you just kind of get to be appreciator of the game. It's nice when your team that you grew up rooting for is decent. And not many years we've gotten to be able to say that here for the Timberwolves. But they've got a little fight, a a little hope and promise, but yeah, boy, whew. Still riding high after that Vikings win. That was a great NFL weekend. Everybody tuning in to all the football games that were on all across the room here at Texas Card House. Champ going to call here with 9-7-5-4, suited 7-4 diamond. Swim. Take a call with the ace 10, 7-7. If you see our general manager, Chris, he's a big Bills fan. Give him a hug. Those Bills gave a great effort. It was a really fun game to watch. See how many ways we go with this. As Moneymaker had raised it up to 35. Westfall calling with 10-10-9-7. Swim's got a nice hand. Ace 10-7-7 suited aces. And the most chips on the table as well. As we go to a flop of ace queen 6. 2 pair for Marco, top and bottom. Don't know what Chris's hand is at this point. He's going to come out betting. That's a 125, and Marco now here with decision with aces and sixes. And again, another hand in PLO that is way trickier to play out of position than it is in position, because because you can lead so many draws, you can represent so much more. And when you call behind, you have that ability to represent a hand that may beat the initial better. So when you're playing guessing games, especially on dangerous boards, you just I think players learn over time. They get a lot of expensive lessons. And Marco not signing up for Chris Moneymaker's live cash game class here today. He's going to forfeit any more dollars trying to be sent that way. So, hey, Erica says, hi, Mike. Doing awesome. Thanks, Erica. Dealer here that I dealt the late night hours here on Saturday. So, Nima. Haven't seen Nima in a while, but big Celtics fan. Always NBA talk on the table, but I know not everybody's a big hoops fan, so just try to keep that down to a minimum. And, hey, Zach Nixon also checking in, saying, let's effing go, Jordan. Next hand here, a flop of ace 10-7, Drew with top 2 pair. He's got some backdoor diamonds as an open-ended straight draw for the champ. Turn comes a 7. Opens up club flush possibilities for 3 players, all with club flush draws. Swim going to bet his nut flush draw with the king of high clubs and 3 of a kind 7s. Drew going to give up his hand as Flash going to call him here with the queen high clubs. He can also make queens full if he makes a queen here on the end. And River's going to come at 10 of clubs, and we'll see how fast this plays. It's flush over flush, but the paired board, I think Flash going to go too crazy as a bet of 85 and a call. And the king high clubs are good. Swim on fire here early on in our TCH Pot Limit Omaha cash game at Texas Card House here in North Austin. Again, we've got a $150 3K guaranteed tournament going on in the main room. Encourage you to hustle on down here, get involved with that. Always a pretty good tournament on Monday night that we've got nice turnouts for. As we're in day 4 of the Chris Moneymaker Celebrity Poker Series. Tonight, PLO. Tomorrow is a 2-5 Big O. and mixed limit cash games. If you're a mixed game enthusiast, you love your Sasseys, you love your Archies, you want to play some Oklahoma, play some Stud 8. Limit cash games are also a really good way to learn some of those things. So, you want to call yourself a poker player, learn more than just no limit. Expand your mind as far as. So I think we kind of had a brain drain for a while where it was just all no limit. It was all no limit. It's no limit hold'em, and I think for like the touring professionals that were playing all these streams and all these WSOP tournaments, said, hey, you got to have a little variety in your life. Moneymaker and Rudy with some mystery hands is getting a little trickier with the sensors as far as with 4 cards that you have to read each of them individually or kind of fan them out so the reader. And I think the players who are so used to how they set their cards and how they read their cards, especially with 4 cards, it's a little trickier as far as, okay, how do I get my hands covered here so the guy next to me or the lady next to me doesn't see what I have. All right, next flop, 10-10-5. Moneymaker with the best hand with an overpair of jacks. He'll take another jab at this. Bet a 75. And everybody's going to go away as the Omaha enthusiast and World Series champ takes on another small pot. As Williams saying deuce 7 is the nuts. Absolutely. All the draw games especially. I have seen some huge pots with 5-6 players, especially on the Sassy. Like Sassy, I was not a huge fan of when we first started spreading. I'm like, wow, this is really complex, and then it's like, oh, this game is awesome. Asking how regular of a thing will TCH be from here on out? I think what we're aiming for is about 2 to 3 shows a week. So mentioned there in the chat box, I think our next show is going to expect to be Thursday night at 6. And it really opens the door for a lot of creative possibilities. We want to feature more of the ladies tournaments or ladies cash games as well. I think that's a huge opportunity for women to be a part of the game of poker, for final tables that we run, and bigger buy-in tournaments where we get some big fields and huge prize pools. The possibilities are endless, and that's why we want to hear your feedback of games that you want to see being aired on TCHLive. So, Moneymaker raised up with the King 10 Jack 7. Jordan there with kings, suited kings. See who else we've got in the hand. It looks like Drew's got ace-9, 8-3. Swim out of the small blind with queen-queen 10-4, suited queen of diamonds. So we allow our action tracker to get caught up here. Bones in the big blind with ace jack 6-5 and Eureka 5-4-3. Ace high clubs for Bones. Pairing a straight draw as well. Currently, Queen's technically the best hand, but so percentages are getting caught up here. And it's going to be a Queen of clubs. They're on the turn. Bones with a lock on this one. Nobody else with club draw in their hand, but... And he's got to take down another little pot. There you see, that's out of our action tracker, the statistics we have. The players who have voluntarily put money in the pot, either by calling or calling a raise. Julian Vasquez says 49ers over Vikings, and I got no problem with that. I think the Niners are an excellent team this year. I don't know if Minnesota's got it in them to make 2 big wins back to back. I certainly hope everybody predicts against them. I certainly don't hope that the national side starts getting on the Vikings bandwagon. You need that, nobody believes in us in this kind of year for the postseason. But we'll leave the NFL thoughts at that. But if you want to chime in here on the chat box, do so here on TCHLive. So out of a straddle pot, we will go heads up here to a flop. Jack 6, 5, 3 up against Ace 9, 8, 6. And the flop, Queen Jack 8. Marco's technically got the best hand. Here with a pair of 8s, and check that. It's a flash, actually. It's got jacks, but it's kind of the hard part about PLO sometimes. The action moves so quick, you can't always... even the players on the table are trying to figure out, what exactly do I have here? Do I have the flush draw? Or you can count on so many times that players maybe misread their hand, or they thought they had a draw that they didn't have, or they didn't have a draw and they actually had it. And we'll keep on moving here at TCHLive as our 3rd edition. We've had a 5-5 no limit cash game. We had the final table, the $15K guaranteed $150 tournament on Saturday night, late night poker. As you see there, Chris Moneymaker looking very relaxed and comfortable after the massage given by Texas Royal Touch. Follow them at Texas.royaltouch. Learn more about our licensed massage therapist. Nima bringing up a great point. We're about looking to get more towards the Twitch audience. I think that's certainly in development here in the near future. Let's move on to our next hand. Kings here for Drew with a suited 8 deuce. Swim here with queens and a higher flush draw as we go queen, ace. Set of queens here for swim. Nobody else with much of anything. And that's how the PLO games go sometimes. Get 3-handed. Sometimes it's only your hand that smashed the flop. And if you get another player that smashed the plot, you're going to get both players getting all their chips in. And that's what we're kind of waiting for here tonight, is for the coolers, for the bad beats, for the, oh my god, I can't believe he hit that card. And right now, everybody kind of treading water. Nobody making any big moves. And a lot of the hands have played themselves pretty straightforward. And here's some action here. Jordan with a double straddle. I like it. I like it a lot. Moneymaker had previously been on his the PSPC Poker Stars Moneymaker Tour. To the road to the PSPC. Been to Russia, been to Reno, London, Dublin, out to the Hard Rock, so out in Chile. Now I'm going to check out here what Austin's all about. I think that, this is for any players out of state to start seeing this, to California and so folks out on the East Coast. And, you want to make a vacation down south here, I mean, you don't have to go to Florida. You don't have to go to Vegas. If you're a poker enthusiast, you got all the action you need here at TCH, our 3 locations. So we got some fireworks brewing here as Moneymaker raising up with a suited ace king 10. He's certainly been the most aggressive player in this game. Marco can get out with his 9-9-8 deuce. His flash has got aces with a suited ace 6 of spade. And the champ with jack 9, 7-7. Let's go to a flop. The pot of 520. And the flop's going to come king at 10-3, 2 hearts. Suited ace, heart draw for Moneymaker, and top 2 pair. And he's going to check. And he's going to get checks behind him. Turn. Comes kings full of 10s. You know, one thing I've learned about Chris, so we'll let this hand continue. It's still going to get checked. See if anybody catches up here as flash for the second best hand with aces and kings. And Moneymaker's going to make a bet here on the end as he will bet, looks like 3. Now he's going to bet 400 here with his kings full and get no callers. But, you know, one thing I've noticed about Chris and the guys who really play PLO well is that the variations of their bet sizings are so important that, you know, when you get into this game, you just feel like, especially when you're online, you're just going to mash that bet pot button to death, that it becomes really the only move in your bag. That, you know, Chris, you know, even without me knowing the hands, just being on the table, has been more about taking small jabs, you know, betting a third of the pot, a fourth of the pot, maybe half the pot. But, you know, I think that's where a lot of players kind of get them stuck and get their chips kind of over pot committed, is just, you know, in an effort to try to protect their hand, they only make it more vulnerable by just increasing the odds of their players. And fascinated to see if that's going to be the case tonight. But everybody playing pretty good so far. I think a pretty snug game. The $10 straddle on was raise up to 20. Flash with king, 9-7, double suited. Marco's got better spades, though, with a suited ace 7-6. And those are my favorite kind of hands to play. Get a suited ace with, like, 3 straight draw cards. And the flop is going to come ace, ace 6. The nuts here for Marco. And I'm sure this joke has been done, but he's going to try to play Marco Polo with his opponents. And hard to see, unless Rudy's got an ace in his hand, anybody calling here, as don't know exactly what he holds. But he's going to call the bet of 55 here on the flop. This pot has grown up to 195. Flash got up with his kings. Chips are getting low to about 380. Marco's sitting with about 1,800. Jordan there with 1,005. And the turn is going to come a queen, as going to get a check. See if Marco bets the, you know, here for value. So he's got a full house. The only hand that beats him is an ace queen. Into a bet of 195, bets 85, and here comes the raise up to 225. A little swallow from Marco. He's got a feeling like, oh no. Could my opponent made a bigger full house, or is maybe Jordan there with a hand maybe like an ace, king, jack, maybe with diamonds or clubs in his hand. And that's a tough decision. I mean, this is a kind of game where if you're going to commit a lot of chips, you want to at least have some backdoor draw. Get some sliders, burgers, pork and chicken. Also, our 7 o'clock bet tournament, our 3K guaranteed $150 buy, and also happening as well in our North Austin location. Keep it moving here on TCHLive. My name is Mike Youngblood, dealer here at Texas Card House. Been here for about 2.5 years. It's kind of nice to, at least on some level, know a lot of these guys, or at least familiar with the kind of games you see them in, and all terrific people. So just that little element of fun here to the equation. As we go 4 ways. Rudy's probably got the best hand with a near 4 cross, Jack 9, 8, 7 as a perfect flop for him. Flops a straight flush draw. Here with his Jack 9 of spade. And it gets checked around at turn 6. Don't know what Marco's hand is here, but with an open-ended straight draw, flush draw. A good bet here by Rudy here on the turn to bet 80. About half the size of the pot. Marco doesn't have enough to call anything with, and they're half pet, they're hot. Look, can't talk here. Half pot jab. Some chips being sent there to our man Jordan. Has got about 10 players on the list here for PLO. There's none of that stuff, but you do pay for your hourly rate. And hey, you want to save on that number? Play high though. I mean, you really the only one with a flush draw. That's money making a bet here with his king. And this is where Moneymaker going to have king. Got a full house here for Marco as so we welcome you back here joining us on the stream. Marco's last hand, he made jacks full on the turn. Had another player with 3 of a kind jacks. Didn't really get a whole lot of action there, but as you can see, our chip stack swim has been on fire here in this cash game. Again, apologize for the brief interruption here in the live stream. Should still be good here on the recorded side if you're catching us on the replay here of TCHLive. As my name is Mike Youngblood, 3rd edition of our show. A lot of love from y'all, and appreciate that. As a lot of the action's been great enough to be able to comment on that. That makes most of it, man. I'd love to get excited about everything, but if everything's bet fold, not always as riveting. But we've got players who've been bringing the heat, and so far so good here on our 5-5 PLO cash game with Chris Moneymaker. Keep bouncing along. 6 players, 2's a flop of Jack 6-6. 3 of a kind 6s here for Rudy. Kyle's going to come out and bet here with his top pair with an ace kicker, and Rudy will call behind. Not sure what exactly Flash is calling with, but he'll give a look. Turn is going to come a 5. Now a straight draw here for Jordan as well. Flash is taking a card off, I guess. And the river's going to come a diamond, nut flush here for Kyle, and he checks. Maybe trying to induce some bet out of a straight, or keep the pot in control if a player's got a hidden full house, like a 6 is full of 5s, but yeah, backdoor diamond's good. $100 pot going to Kyle. So see him here on the tables at TCH. And there you see all the hands that went to showdown, all the percentages. Well, if you're looking to tune in here or get a part of the action, get on the wait list here for this cash game. We expect our stream to be running up until about, I'd say about like, 10 o'clock here tonight. Also got some 1-2 no limit and some 1-3 no limit cash going. And or a 3K $150 no limit tournament running on here tonight at the main room at Texas Card House North. Is next hand here, TCHLive. You know, players getting adjusted here to the card reader and the scanner. It's just, normally if they've got, a hand that they're playing just, a regulation cash game with, they're going to bunch those cards together so they're not spread out. So they're generally on top of each other. And, here when you try to put 4-card combinations, you got to fan them out a little bit so the reader can catch all of them, because one of them stacked on each other does not actually make the sensor work. So guys are picking up the hang of it. Again, if you want to join us here in the chat box here on TCHLive, you can do so. Ask your questions, make your suggestions. I'm always open for any recipes anybody's got. If you got a good chili recipe, if any idea how to make a good stew, or for anybody out there suffering from cedar allergies right now, but the one person that's not allergic to top set is the champ, who's flop top set of queens. See if anybody's got a diamond draw here in this hand. It doesn't look like it, so we'll make a pot bet of 120. Not a lot of draws out there. I mean, Jordan's got a 10-9, a Moneymaker has Moneymaker's got a set of jacks. So get kind of caught up here to the action, and this is going to be more trouble for Chris. It's going to raise it up here to 350. And I got a bad feeling in my stomach about this, because excited here for the champ who's made the best hand, but Moneymaker has got one out. And it's a jack of clubs. Top set versus second set. And Rudy actually would have made a straight with this 10-9. A Moneymaker has picked up a backdoor draw. He can make a straight now with a 10. And he's also kind of called representing a draw too, but I mean, if you got this much money out there with top set, you're not getting away from it. The champ counting out a 600 to get ready to put that in the middle. And he'll make the call. Pot has gotten over here to 2,000. Heads up here between champ and Chris Moneymaker. He's got a set. And now has turned a straight draw. And he gets it! Redemption for Moneymaker. Oh, and he's going to realize how lucky he got. And that's kind of how poker works sometimes, is the guy gets you, you get him back, and you feel for the champ there. He'll play cautiously on the turn, figuring, hey, maybe Moneymaker had turned a straight. And then Chris makes an 8 to queen straight on the river. And could have lost a whole lot more had that card not come, because sets are so dangerous. And oftentimes you're up against a two-pair kind of style of hand or draw, and especially if you've got, say, like a lower pair, anything, between deuces to sevens, that, yeah, it's great to make a set, but they become so vulnerable to bigger hands, and that's why we've talked a little bit about it. I think we talked about it during our test stream when the guys were playing 5-5, that, you know, often if you have some combo hands, just in the off chance that you need it for a redraw, those percentages just play so much better for you. And Moneymaker getting lucky on the end and going to come out ahead 1,100. Whew. Buckle up, boys and girls. I think this game just got out of the muck, and we're going to start seeing some big hands. Is Dustin now coming here to the box? Yeah, he's been a dealer here at Texas Card House certainly for a while. Druid busted out and got his money in with a pair and a flush draw up against two pair, and Swim had gone runner spade. Drew got a little bit unlucky, kind of got his money in with the best draw out of the three-way all-in, but looks to go back to work and chip up. As we've got a near family pot brewing right now, as 40 in the middle, 8 players. You try to guess who's going to win this one, folks. Flop's going to come 10, 9, 8. Now let's sift through this here. We've got Marco with an overpair. Swim has flopped a straight. There it is, the winner. Swim has got the nut straight 6 to 10. Rudy has got bottom two pair. Kyle has got an open-end straight draw with his queen jack. We'll see out of the field of players here. Moneymaker coming in for a raise, though, for 135. He might have a similar hand. He might have one that's got a redraw with it. No, he's got a diamond flush draw. He's also got a straight flush draw to the queen of diamonds. And it's going to come diamond on the turn. Here, a 5 of diamonds for Chris. A lock on this hand. And that straight just shrunk for Swim in C2. Moneymaker, the second nut diamonds, meaning the second possible diamond. Sam commenting here, flashing his cigarette, cracked me up. It's the same cig he's had in his mouth in the game 2 years ago. I just remember that, Farha was iconic for that. It just gave you the feel of like an old-time gambler with just a cigarette dangling in his mouth. And, thankfully for the rules of casinos now, you guys have, I remember watching the great, the Scotty win final table there, and you've got TJ Cloutier just chain smoking right at the main table. You do that now, you're going to get pretty much kicked out of every building in any card room in the country. So times have changed, haven't they? So we keep moving on our Monday night 5-5 PLO game here on TCHLive. Seeing some straddles. Some of the players here, so had some of these pots swell up, but not a whole lot of 3-betting going on between all these players. Is Moneymaker now with an ace, king, queen 3. Hanger to a 3, but also has a wheel draw with it, so he can only open up here for 15 as... All right, we'll go 3 ways. Rudy now with a king 10-9-8 double suited. His diamonds are beat, though, as he's going to flop kings and nines. A straight, though, for Drew. And also has got a straight flush draw. And he's going to come out and bet. Don't think Moneymaker's going to go anywhere with the top two pair. Same with Jordan, as he's got kings and nines. Also with a straight draw. Broadway, Drew's still with the best hand. And the best redraw, too, with his clubs. Moneymaker's now made top three, aces and kings. He's also made kings and queens. Just casually puts out $100. Like, okay, hey, maybe this will be me. Tough spot here for Jordan. It's a lot of better two-pair combos now the ace is turned, and he's going to give up his hand. Heads up to the river. Drew, a huge favorite. Gonna need to dodge an ace, king, or queen. Or also a 10, I think would give him a chop. River's going to come a deuce of hearts. He's pot of 320. I think Drew's going to go like, say, 175. That looks like a pretty good bet. 180. Lucky guess by me. Great bet there by Drew to try to extract some value. Moneymaker not going to budge, though. Nice hand there for Drew, as you see who are our winners thus far. Swim up about 2,500. Moneymaker back up to plus 600. He took kind of a hit against the champ earlier. And those two players have exchanged blows, as the champ getting the better of Chris Moneymaker in the first round, and then Moneymaker also outdrawing the champ the second time they got a lot of chips in. Reminder to all of you faithful viewers that if you subscribe to TCHLive, you get a free hour of play here at Texas Card House. Show that to the front desk, and you've got 1 hour free here to play some cash games. 10-10-7-5 here for Flash. Again, Bones has been pretty card dead here. He's not had a whole lot to play. And we're now going to get a raise up out of the straddle by Swim. Flash going to call 10-10-7-5. Moneymaker, some baby cards, the old 5-4-3-3. Get Drew and Champ caught up here on the card reader. There we go. 8-8-7-6, nice hand for Champ. Oh, Swim's got aces. And a Jack-8 in there as well. What's Drew got here? Drew's fanning out the cards. We'll see what happens once we get to the flop. As the action tracker catches up. Aces, a small favorite as we go to a flop of ace, 4, king. Top set for Swim. Moneymaker has got a wheel draw, though, for a deuce. But Drew's going to come out betting here. That's 160, and he's betting right into trouble. Swim has got the best hand. Probably going to come in here for a raise on a board that's semi-dry, no flush draws. There is a straight draw out there, so you fear that, maybe Drew's got a set of kings, and that would be extremely bad news. But if he's got a hand, maybe like ace, king, queen, jack, or queen, jack, 10 combo, he's not, he's drawn pretty thin, but at least he's live. And We don't know what Drew's hand here is at this point, but now we see we face a raise of up to 780. And he's going to give it up. Certainly possible that with a board like that, it could also lead with maybe ace-king. Maybe he had a set of fours. But we may not know until after the fact. So Swim continuing to swim in dollar bills. Up to 5,800 on his stack. Chris Moneymaker there, 3,800 as well. Can chat with us here back in the chat box on TCHLive. On our YouTube channel, we're aiming to get towards Twitch, but for us, it's one step at a time and figure out our protocols and get everything working on the technical side up to the standards that we want to have it. So it's a smooth and easy viewing experience for you all around the world. Flash going to call the $10 straddle. Brendan saying C2 looks like a fish here in this game, and it's like, maybe is that why they call him Swim? Ooh, what a board there for Kyle as he's flopped top two and a gutter ball to a wheel. The champ has got an inside straight draw and second pair, and Kyle will come out for a bet for 25. Pot up to just about 100 as we go heads up. Champ here to gamble. Trying to crack two pair, and he does. Now three pair here for Kyle. But an ace to five straight, a wheel here for the champ. And a 3-1 favorite before we go to the rivers. Kyle's going to bet here and see how much the raise is going to be for the champ here in C10. He's going to pot it. Now Kyle with three pair aces and jacks. He's also got a redraw to a 5 to chop the pot, and he's got about 390. So any decision that he makes here is essentially for all of his chips, unless he hates the river if he calls here. That he's seen the champ play a wide variety of hands. He might think that maybe he's betting a worse or two pair. That or he's willing to gamble, as going to leave himself about 180 on the river. Now pot brewing up to 630 as we go heads up. And the river comes a king, so champ still with the best hand with a wheel, and he's going to bet all in. And that is going to be Kyle's entire stack into a pot of about 860. And how good does he feel about his two pair? It's not backdoor spades. He's got the ace of spades in his hand. So he does block the nut flush draw, so it's kind of what he decides to use that information for, because he can use it to talk himself into a call. And I think he's going to fold. There's a little slip there on the end. Maybe he might reconsider. This is a tough spot here, as he's trying to figure out what this opponent could have bet and what he could have called with, and he's going to see. Champ did, in fact, call him there with a 5-4-3. And that is going to bust Kyle's stack here as the champ going to chip up some more. And we'll keep moving along here as champ now up to about $1,000. And a seat may have opened here to get in the game. We've got about a 14-player list to get into this one. I'm not necessarily sure if they're going to create a feeder table here on the 5-5 cash game. But if you do want to get on the list here tonight or check, call it 512-956-7195. Could also spread a 125 PLO game as well if get enough players on the list for that. Again, if you want to see what everything looks like, go to texascardhouse.com. And Motozar making a good point. It's tough to fold when you've got a pot of 860 and you've only got about 180 behind. It puts you in such a tricky spot to just in the off chance maybe he's got a worse or two pair, but we're the experts. We can see the cards, so we get the luxury of knowing everything and looking smart. But Marco here, calling now with the Ace King 9-7, showing a lot of patience in this game and needs it. Being involved with his kid's baseball team, he's a huge baseball enthusiast. Yeah, I tell you, I've coached Little League, I've coached some high school ball. You got to have Zen-like patience with dealing with kids like that. So Marco's always a guy I've always enjoyed kind of talking broadcast with and talking shop, talking baseball. And it's like a lot of these guys are, if you're not only a poker player, you're probably also a sports fan or you're a fan of strategy. So you can always kind of find a common link with somebody at a poker table. There's always something you may have in common. And flop's going to come 9-5-9, then the second nuts for Chris Moneymaker. Only hand that beats him is nines full, and he'll try to see if anybody catches up. Nobody with a diamond in their hand, though, as the turn comes a 7. With the pot of 165, he'll bet 100. Not going to get any action from anybody. And another small pot here for the 2003 WSOP main event champion. And he was inducted into the Poker Hall of Fame, or was named to the Poker Hall of Fame in 2019. Native of, I think he was born in Atlanta, Georgia, but considered Knoxville, Tennessee to be where he's from. Now resides in Nashville, Tennessee, a.k.a. Smashville, home of the Predators. For all you hockey fans, if you want to watch hockey, we got some hockey fans in the house always. And you can watch your hockey, you get your hockey fix here while you're at TCH. You had Sage popping up here in the chat box, giving a homage to the 9-5 of Dan Grimes. Player as there's very few people who can iconicize a hand, and I'm not even sure that's a word. Dan would probably be able to tell me yes or no, but has certainly built a reputation on 9-5 being his best hand, and Moneymaker flopping a full house with it. Now, good astute observation there by Sage. I didn't think about that. Again, you can join us here in the chat box as well on our live stream on TCHLive. All right. Got some ambitious hands out here as Kyle's, again, got one of those kind of hands. I love an ace-9, 8-7, but Drew has got a 4 across with a 9-8, 7-6, 3 diamonds. And he can only use 2 of them. And flop's going to come ace-3-3. Nobody with a 3, but a couple players with aces. Moneymaker with ace-queen. Kyle with ace-9. And Moneymaker is going to call him as we go. So we're going to go heads up to the turn. Try to see who makes a better 2-pair here. As the action tracker catches up. And the turn's going to come a 5. No straight draws for either player. Moneymaker has got the best hand with the aces and 3s with a queen. As goes check, check. Off to the river we go, boys and girls. And it's a 6. Moneymaker is still with the best hand. I don't think Westfall is going to bet at it, so we're going to find out. Moneymaker with the best hand, and another small pot for him is, again, by far has been involved in the most pots, as he's up to about 4,000. Won a big pot, lost a small one, and has won a lot of small pots here throughout this session. Julian Vasquez and Marco, my college teammate, played baseball together. I think if I recall, Marco played at somewhere up north, up in North Texas, where there was a guy who was, if you remember the Texas Tech Red Raiders, guy played in the national championship, Jarrett Culver. His younger brother scored 100 points in an NAIA basketball game not just about a month ago. And that drove national headlines. I think Marco posted about that. Was it like Wayland Baptist or something like that? It's really testing my memory, but well, it looks like we've got a double straddle or triple straddle up to 40. Our guy Jordan is all about the action. And we'll get the champ's hand read here as, I commend the players here because sometimes you're taking a little bit out of your comfort zone. So we see there the champ's got ace jack 10 double suited here on a triple straddle. So we allow the action tracker to catch up as, again, the last day of the Chris Moneymaker Celebrity Poker Series. Coming up tomorrow, a 2-5 Big O game and also a 5-10 mixed limit cash game. All right, here we go. Here's all the necessary info. Swim now with 3 diamonds in his hand and ace queen 9-6. Moneymaker gonna call the straddle. See if Kyle here decides to. He's gonna make a pot bet here with an ace 4 deuce deuce. I don't know, does Kyle think this is a PLO 8 game? But I think he also sees a lot of money out there. Might do his best. Leroy Jenkins. This champ going to come along already with 40 in there to call 210 more. Swim's going to get out, and Moneymaker says, all right, I'll come along with y'all. Kyle's only got about 200 behind. I think we'll have Chris's hand shortly. So we'll go 3 ways to a flop. Kyle, the pre-flop raiser, flops bottom pair and also a straight draw to a wheel. And Moneymaker is going to be the one that comes out to a bet. He's going to get it all in. Champ's also going to get it all in. He's got a flush draw and a pair of 7s. Again, we don't know exactly what Moneymaker has, but he's going to pitch the hand. And Kyle is going to have to get lucky here, either to get a 3. He's going to have to turn a set with a set of deuces. So any You know, his 2 pair odds aren't good here. Champ's got a better. Oh, it's a 4! And off to the river we go, and it's a jack. Like a torpedo into the pot. Kyle jammed there. Got lucky on the turn and made 3 of a kind. And Champ's going to show him, hey there, dude. I had a pretty real hand here. And yeah, that's part of the game, too. You just try to build up a pot, try to make a stab at it. And sometimes it works out, and sometimes it doesn't. And sometimes you're on either side of it. You're the lucky one, or you're the unlucky one, or... Kyle came here to gamble, and credit to him, and give a nice little reward to his dealer for the lucky 4 on the turn, as he'll stay alive in this cash game and get nearly back up to 1,000. We haven't seen a whole lot of bones here. He made a flush on one hand, just couldn't get any action. He's been a little card dead. Seen a lot of straddles there. We saw a triple straddle. I tell you, that's not too uncommon. Guys love to gamble here if they get in games like this. They want to build the pots up. They want to have fun. Kyle's going to check his option out of the straddle with the 8-7-5 deuce. Yeah, another hand looks really good in PLO 8, but... And straight high, it's... One you can take a flop with, and it'll go out with aces and deuces. Drew with a king high flush draw, and jacks and deuces as well. Kyle's going to bet 50. Jordan's going to call here with a straight draw. He can make a straight with any 3, 4, or 5. And we'll go 3 ways. Drew with the king high flush draw. Second and third pair. Kyle with enough flush draw. And he turns aces full. No hope for anybody yet. We'll see if he plays it fast or plays it slow. Still a little bit vulnerable. He could still feel like he's vulnerable here if any other player has 3 of a kind aces. So he's looking to dodge a scary card and maybe improve his hand. But as we see, ace is full, the best hand. Pot of about 2 of 5. He's going to check again. See if anybody wants to bluff at it. I don't think anybody's going to. And another pot here to Kyle. As he's got aces full. I want to remind you our next stream going to be on Thursday at 6 p.m. or I think that is still to be determined as what game will run, but we certainly appreciate all that have followed thus far. I mean, I think the first stream that we had of that 5-5 cash camp, now over 1,200 viewers. So, great exposure for our room and our show that, still in its infancy, and we're, still working out little things and perfecting our process. And hey, I'm still trying to figure out all the little details of broadcasting because, you never really feel like you got it down perfectly. There's always 5 minutes I can look in whatever game I do, I go, man, you could have said that better. You could have used a better term. It could have been sharper here. And I'm thrilled to have this avenue to continue to entertain and inform, and that's what we look to do here on TCHLive. And I think we're still gathering as far as what's going to be the best for our games too, as far as we're going to create a consistent schedule that players can anticipate for and build their schedules around so they can be on TCHLive. And I really just feel like this is a great learning resource for players that, especially a game like PLO, you can just kind of see how the hands match up with each other and the kind of strategies players are using. As we go 5 ways, check that 6 ways to a flop of ace, 9, a deuce. Flash with the best hand with top and bottom aces and ducks, and he's going to bet out 55. See if anybody else with an ace nut. Swim's not going to mess around as he's got ace 10, 10, 8. And a small pot there for Flash was not a cigarette. It sometimes has that in. He's playing a tournament or we continue here on TCHLive. My name is Mike Youngblood. Thank you for your support here of our broadcast. It's kind of weird. I was used to being kind of anonymous, and I think finding and people enjoying this show at a higher rate than I could have anticipated. So I thank you for that. I don't try to undersell that by any stretch because it is a blessing to be here for you. Continue 9-handed here in 5-5 PLO, Pot Limit Omaha. Moneymaker raising it up with the ace, queen, 5-3, naked ace of diamonds. I mean, it's not really connected, but a hand I really like, there would be a couple of Pot Limit Omaha 8 or better hands out there with the ace 3 deuce 9 for Kyle, and this was an Omaha 8 or better game. I could say he pretty much flopped the joint here, but in that game he would have the nut low draw and nut heart draw, but here just the ace high hearts. Moneymaker also with a wrap draw with the ace 5-3 could make a straight with either an ace, a 3, or a 5 with a combo that he has in his hand, and gonna get himself some food. I think we've got baked potatoes there. Look at all that cheese on there, some bacon bits. Get yourself a little sour cream. Now, those provided here by Texas Roadhouse. Somebody saving one of those baked potatoes. I don't want to go home without one. Those look delicious. Put that in one of the lockers, or maybe I can describe to you the texture of how delicious these things are. Get some butter. All right, and it's going to be a wheel here on the turn for Chris Moneymaker. 2 pair for Kyle. And with the straight, it's going to bet 300. Kyle looking at a bet now in the pot of about 320. Moneymaker's bet 300, just 20 under the size. Jordan's also got an inside straight draw and also a spade flush draw, but does he feel like he's drawing live and just not going to take any chances? And another, again, another small punch there by Moneymaker. Just medium-sized pots here and there, and he's made his way up to 3,800 as Bones sitting with about 1,400. Hasn't got a whole lot dealt to him. Swim is up quite a bit. Marco's been a little card dead as of late as well, and it's I think we'll see these guys splash around a little bit more, but I think because you think you get 4 hands, you can play more hands, and it really becomes the opposite because, the junkier hands you play at the more marginal spots you get yourself into, and you start going 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 ways to a flop, and it's just, your hands got to be better to go to showdown, and I think that's a lot of misconception for, even beginner to intermediate players. It's just like, okay, I can just outplay people, or, it's boy, I mean, it really takes some experience to get yourself used to board textures and understand your hand values and understand, what those things are relative to all the situations that you can run to. And this is just in cash. So, I mean, if you're fortunate enough to get yourself, to get online in a tournament, I mean, another way that you can learn this game of Pot Limit Omaha, if you're not just a hold'em player only and want to expand your horizons, you gotta give this game a try. Some players have compared it to crack and heroin, and I'd never done those things, so I'm not gonna make that comparison, but some people have, and so we advise you to be responsible. Well, we've got some curries there on the flop, all threes. Where's all the famous Currys? Steph, Dell, even Seth Curry. Lighting up the threes out on the court. Tens with the only overpair here with the fives, and River's going to come a queen. Now you see there, Kyle's got a queen in his hand, but does not make a full house because, again, he has to use 2 cards out of his hand. So in this situation where you've got 3 of a kind on the board, players generally have to have a pair in their hand, and the tens, or threes full of tens, going to win. Flash with a small pot. This Moneymaker has been by far the most aggressive raiser pre-flop. About 33% of the hands he's played, he's come in for a pre-flop raise. Swimming marker right behind at about 17%. As the action continues here on TCHLive, we've gotten a ton of viewers here in our early going. We're thankful for all our new subscribers. We're in our infancy right now, trying to figure out, hey, who can we have do color, and who else we can have commentate, and all those kind of things, and what our schedule is going to be. So we're asking some of the same questions as well. So we invite your feedback. Let us know the kind of games that you want to see. And you want to see maybe like a 1-2 no limit game, the 5-5, a 5-10. Maybe find people that are ambitious enough to play higher than that they want to get a real big game going here, or more Omaha games, or we are certainly happy to take your suggestions here at Texas Card House. We get everybody's cards read. It's about to go 5 players to the flop. Again, Lawrence reminding us Texas Roadhouse is not open for lunch, so you may have to go to the establishment Cheddah's. Moneymaker with an ace-high flush draw here on the flop of King 6-5. Swim has got an open-ended straight draw with his 8-7. Not much going on for anybody else besides those two. As could see our 2 big stacks collide. Not much money out there, and a diamond draw. Swim's going to give up his 8-7, and again, smart. When you got a lot of chips and you're going up against somebody with a lot of chips, it's just, if you're limited to 1 draw, or it's a one-way draw, it's Neba, I think we'll definitely get some 1-2 for sure. It's like that. I think that's definitely going to be part of the rotation, and I just thinking about, like, when we had that Sam Von Kennel uh, tournament that we ran just around Thanksgiving of, a 6 max tournament. Like that's the kind of exciting stuff where we get, the 1K buy-ins, the $500, the really nice size tournaments that draw out some of the best players in this area. I mean, that's one definitely for sure that I hope we get the opportunity to do on, Sunday nights. And we're just going to wait till football season's over with there, till we kind of get towards that. But some decent hands out there. A whole mixture of all sorts of stuff going on here. Flash got a suited ace with an 8-6-5. Drew's got a suited ace queen king with a 5, and a flop's going to come queen 10 deuce. Kyle and Moneymaker both have a straight draw. Champ's hand a mystery at this point, and actually check that second and third pair with an open ender. Here for Kyle, who bets 35. I'm going to get called here by Drew, who's got top pair of queens and an inside straight draw to a jack. Moneymaker also with the same open-ended straight draw as Kyle. And here it comes, the turn, a deuce. Bet coming on the turn here now with deuces full of tens. Moneymaker with a slider in his left hand and his fold in the right. As Sam chiming in, I hope Casey and Drew are having fun because they sure aren't playing any hands. And don't give me this that they have been getting bad cards. I can make a hand out of any 4 cards. And he's got a point there, guys. I accept Sam's argument here. I mean, this is also a great place in the chat box if you want to call your friends and knit. I mean, you get on in here and you let them have it if you feel like they're getting a little too nitty out here. I think Drew has been playing a fair amount. He's gotten his hand range pretty wide open, but I think Bones seriously has gotten a lot of junk here and just says, hey, maybe he's going to wait a little bit before he starts to get the gambler on. Above all else, we'll see all the old school TCH guys and people and individuals who've been part of this long before I have. I mean, I got here just as kind of the North Austin Club was starting to open. Glad y'all can connect. Here we go. Bones now with a suited ace 5, 4, 4, double suited in diamonds and hearts. You can see a flop for that for a raise. And here we go. Jack 8-6. Kyle here with the best hand and Jackson 6s. Trying to piece together all the draws that you have here. And also has got an open-ended straight draw to a 7 or a queen. See 2 queens already out there. And a turn's going to come a jack. Boy, it is never-ending run of full houses here for Kyle. And it's going to bet 60. Anybody going to tag along here? It doesn't look like it. As Jacks is full of 6s are good as we move on to now our 42nd hand of action of 5-5 PLO high. My name is Mike Youngblood, dealer here at Texas Card House. And if you do see me on the table, you can roast me. You can present your feedback as the friendliest way I could post it. But yeah, if you see me in the box, certainly be more than welcome to say hello. Had a few people try to guess if it was me or not. I love being mysterious, but got the feeling that might not last for very much longer as Well, don't be mysterious to us, though. If you want to follow us on Instagram, do so, tch.atx. Again, if you want to know what all the promotions going on, or a new tournament, or when the next TCH live show is, I mean, that's your first bet there, is to follow tch.atx. All right, you can follow our main at Texas Card House account, and that also on Twitter. Again, 2-5 Big O tomorrow night, and 5-10 limit mix games also happening. This Moneymaker had opened up to 20, and gonna get a call from Jordan with the old Ace King, or excuse me, the Ace Queen 8-4. Flash now with a suited Ace 10 9-9, a suited Ace 9 of clubs. Marco getting here into the mix with a 6-5-4 deuce. And a flop, ace, excuse me, deuce 4-5. Top pair, or top two, excuse me, from Marco. Diamond flush draw here for Moneymaker with the deuce 7 of diamonds, and that's full. Marco filling up his 3 pair now, becomes a full house with 5s, full of 4s. Check, 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 check to the river, to 10. Marco's still the best hand, a pot of 85, and going to put out a bet. Bet's 50, and nobody there to call him with, but oftentimes it's better than feeling like you're getting raised. Sometimes you get one pot, you get one hand, that's when the momentum starts swinging. You get a little mojo, as we like to call it, a little good vibes. Again, speaking of vibes, we had Johnny Vibes here at Texas Card House not too long ago. I think he posted a new vlog from his trip. He's visited a lot of the Texas card rooms, and we were blessed to have him here for a meetup game towards the end of December. Had a bunch of 5-5 no limit tables going. Great night overall for us at Texas Card House. Here we go. This is what I love to see. Get people what they want. A triple straddle from our guy Jordan there in seat number 8 is single straddle at 10, double straddle at 20, and a $40 double straddle. Let's see who decides to bring the heat here. Sometimes that discourages calls too, but Moneymaker certainly going to come along here, as he's played a pretty open PLO game. As healthy stack behind him, and a really a good comfort level. Is playing all sorts of hands. As Kyle in the mix there with 10-9-5-3, and the flop's going to come ace-9-10, 10s and 9s, straight draw, kind of a wraparound straight draw with a queen-jack-8 here for Jordan. Heads up here to the turn. 5 of clubs, now 3 pair here for Kyle. Going to be check and bet, and a call. Jordan's going to need a king or an 8, or potentially a queen, and he will not get it. It will be the 4 of clubs. But he's going to bet it out anyway. Sensing maybe Kyle has a hand that he has, 10s and 9s. And, Kyle's got to feel like, okay, even if, say, maybe aces and 4s, aces and 5s. I mean, Jordan has not bluffed much at all in this session. He's played fairly snug. I mean, his opening calls have all been, about where it kind of tend to be. He's been taking some hands, but he's not been the aggressor often. And can he get Kyle to go away? Kyle's counting chips. In either figures, he missed a straight draw and a flush draw. could he be thinking about going for a raise here? Or else just kind of figuring how much it is, how much of his stack it would be to call. I mean, I like the bet here by Jordan, but he's not going to be able to get Kyle to go away. And I mean, that's it is a call with the best hand, but I mean, I still really like Jordan's play there on the end because, yeah, maybe he makes the bet a little bit bigger, but he's trying to make it look like a value bet. So there's a little bit of that leveling that's going on that, you know, that typically you may see with just, you know, you smash the bet pot button, you make the bet as big as you possibly can, and then you have kind of with the more the value bets where you're trying to induce the player to call, and this was kind of one of those that was in between that you make a bet there to make it look like you're trying to bet either a straight on the end, which probably seems pretty implausible that Jordan would have a deuce three, or if he wouldn't have raised a set by that point, or I think a hand, you know, like ace five, but he could also feel like, okay, Jordan would probably check back on some of those hands, just split. So yeah, good astute read there by Kyle. That's one I would have a hard time making, but that's why I'm not in this game, because now you gotta have you gotta have some toughness to step into this one. So we keep moving on Texas Card House Live, TCHLive, if you will. Hashtag TCHLive. Want to hashtag TCHLive at Texas Card House on Twitter. Do so at Texas Card House. Again, our promotion for January, 5 hours straight. If you play here at TCH, you save 20% off your hourly, 7 hours straight. Save 30%, and for 10 hours straight, save 40% off your hourly rate when you play here at Texas Card House. Progressive savings. Kyle now with a Jack 10-9-7, suited 10-7 of hearts. Swim had raised it Ace King of Spade, and also 8 Deuce of Diamond. Jordan getting his cards read as raised up to 20. Excuse me, up to 25. So flop's going to come Ace Deuce 7. Great flop for Swim, who's flopped top and bottom with enough flush draw. And it's going to get checked to him, and we'll see a bet. Bet at 50. Kyle's going to get out of the way, and apparently Jordan doesn't have much there to call with at open and shut pot there. As see the aggression frequency on your screen. Moneymaker 50%, Kyle at 43. I mean, this is just tracking the level of aggression made towards either betting or raising, and you know, like it reflects kind of what the eye test says, that you know, Moneymaker with a lot of raises but a lot of jabs at these pots, and yeah, not taking huge swings per se. And you know, same with Kyle and Swim and Marco. You know, Swim has slowed down a little bit. You know, Jordan's been in the mix there. I mean, all these players have been in the mix, but not too many players have overcommitted themselves, and in far too many situations. That it's a pretty solid cash game play going on here at TCH. Got a couple of tournament tables going right now for 3K. $150 buy-in. I think probably we're getting close to that end of registration time. So invite you to come down here if you still want to get your seat. If you want to call the front desk, see what we have available. 512-956-7195. Again, located 13376 North Highway 183 in awesome Austin, Texas. All right, Moneymaker here with the 8-7-5-4-7-4 diamonds. Jordan with the Ace King 9-7. The champ with King Queen Jack the hanger, the 6, and Marco in there also with the ace, queen, 8-6. As flop's going to come 2 clubs, king, 9-6. Club flush draw for Jordan, and it looks like with Chris Moneymaker has got an open-ended straight draw. Going to get bet and called, and about 3 spots, Marco gives up his lesser flush draw wisely. And the turn's going to come a jack, as not gives top 2 pair to the champ. Kind of puts a damper on Moneymaker's hand, because now with anybody with a queen 10, just so many more draws opened up that just smash whatever value was left. And Jordan has got a pair, and he's got top 2 pair and a nut flush draw. I mean, he's got kings and 9s. He's going to move his chips in, and this is kind of a prime. Oh, well, we're only going to run it once here, as he's going to see kings and jacks make the best hand. I apologize there to Jordan, who flopped top 2, and you had the redraw with the clubs, and just couldn't quite make it home. And they'll count it up there, as champ going to chip up some more. Again, join us here in the chat box on TCHLive. I think we are moving towards trying to get on Twitch, but like everything, we got to make sure everything's good, and glad to be a part of that world, hopefully, because I know there's a huge audience when it comes to Twitch, especially watch the run it ups and all that kind of stuff, and live the bikes, and just searching around that kind of stuff. And I said, hey, I want to be as good a show as any out in the world, and that's the standard we're reaching for. Is not to just put on a show, not to just have it be all right. I mean, we want it to be the best thing running, and I think so far so good. We're well on track to hopefully make a dent in the poker community and share why we think we're amongst the best rooms here in the state of Texas. And I always kind of laugh if anybody says they're the best, and it's coming from them, and it's not. That's up for the players to decide, and we want to give that here to the men and women who come here to enjoy themselves. It's a BYOB facility, so if whether or not it's just for social, if you're trying to make a living, I mean, we want to provide the games to you that bring value to you, and also give you some savings here along the way for your loyalty and your support. But as we go, looks like we're going to go either heads up or 3 ways. A swim with ace, king, 10, a hanger of 5, and flash with a jack, 10, 9, 5, and 3 spades in his hand. Flop comes 7, 5, queen. King eye flush draw, and a pair of 5s for each player. Flash here to have some fun, and he's gonna call the flop bet with really not much of anything here, but goes check check here in the turn. River comes to 9, so he's made 9s and 5s. He's made a pair of Dan Grimes. Maybe Swim should have learned better. It can't beat 9-5. I think it's that lucky cigarette too. That's now you and your kids and your vape pens. Don't. Okay, I'm not that. That's another sidebar. I don't want to go down towards, but you see Swim there with the most chips on the table. A huge stack, about 5,700. Moneymaker with just over 3,500. possibilities are endless here. I know that, the one thing that I've learned from being here 2.5 years, there's a lot of funny people that know the game very, very well, better than I do. So, I apologize if you ask about commentating and I don't have all the answers for you. Hey, I want this to be an avenue where people can be interactive and get involved with it, and um, how to do that always most effectively is not always clear and present. But we had Sambon Kennel on for our tournament final table. Good commentary there. Yeah, there's a lot of people I'm sitting there in the back of my mind going, who would be hilarious? This guy. Or, who would be really good? This guy. And this person. Or so on. So, we're just about 2.5 hours into our live stream of 5-5 PLO as Swimmer coming in for a raise with a 10-9-7-6. Champ here. Some low card connectors. See 5-4-3-3. Drew getting roasted for his nittiness. Going to get out. Good reason to. Here as a flop of 6-3-4. Uncle Sam kind of giving us all grief here. But the flop of tops, top set and a flush draw. Here for flash, and he's going to play it fast, and gets called as we go to the turn. Turn brings flush. Champ's going to lead out here with a set. And another club. All in the river, the 8 of clubs. Check, and all in here for flash. All in bed from 175. The champ will give it up as this money going to be pushed his direction. And now up to 630 here in a stack. As again, shout out to Carolyn. If you see her at the front desk, congratulate her on doing a great job. And it's been working the action tracker for a lot of us. I know Chris was working a little bit on it some the other night or the other afternoon. We were tempted to get a stream up, and Brian has been, just relentless as far as getting the tech up to speed. And I could probably go on. There's probably more names here involved, and all of our dealers who have to pick up the slack once I come in here to the commentary booth. That's not something that's lost on me. That, hey, this is not a right, this is a privilege. But, here for your entertainment value, folks. So, $10 straddle. We'll have Moneymaker now with the 10-9 deuce-deuce. Flash in there with Queen 8-7-7. Drew now with the ace-9, 5-3 suited ace-5 of spades. And he's going to flop 3 of a kind, both he and Swim. Drew's got the better one, though, as he's got an ace kicker. We don't know what Champ's in his hand is, but we know it does not include a 3, as he will give it up. Bet that size here for 25. Drew's going to get looked up in a couple of spots, as Moneymaker will pitch his hand as we go to the turn 3 ways. And it's an ace. So now 3's full of aces for Drew. With 125 out there, he'll lead into the turn with a bet of 60. As Swim going to give up his 3 of a kind, and Flash will fold. And give it up for Drew, everybody. That is plus 90 going his direction. Sage chatting in there. Can't beat the Dan Grimes. Referring to that 9-5 hand, and can't beat him, Dan, for comedy value. My sides were hurting. So, dealing late Saturday night. It just it's hard to make me laugh. I try to be as stoic as I can be, but oh my gosh, it's been a while where I was like, my back hurts. This is so funny. Yeah, not much going on here for Bones. Has not got a lot of great cards here, and Moneymaker's shown a wide range of hands, and another one here with the King Jack 3 double suited, the suited king. And Marco's going to call him here, heads up. Small pot Bruin has. See what Marco's hand is. A very respectable 9986. Slightly better hand with the kind of combos that he has that works together as not quite as much here. As going to come out ace 4 queen. Still with the best hand with a pair of nines, but the board texture kind of crappy here for Marco's hand, and not much better here for Chris's, though he does have an inside straight draw to a 10. Check, check, turn a 6. Check, check, river comes a kings. Now a pair of kings here for Chris, and he'll show it down, and Marco needs some mojo here. It's just hasn't had a ton of winners here tonight, but relatively steady though in the stack of 2005. Can swim with the most with about 5,006, and our Drew and Flash are short stacks at around 600 apiece. Got Jeremy in the box, loyal TCH employee. I think these guys are thinking about a bomb pod here too. As all right, folks. It's great. Terrell Owens would say, "Get your popcorn ready." We'll see if they decide to do this just as a single board, because if you do a double board, the percentages are going to be way off, as it gets a little trickier on the math side of things, but we will do our very best. So if you guys aren't familiar what a bomb pot is, players will ante in before the flop. Everybody puts in the same amount, and they'll run either one or two boards. And for here in this bomb pot, looks like it's going to be a single board, and it's Kyle and Jordan who have both flopped 3 of a kind 7s. Kyle's flopped 7s full of queens. Must be nice here. Kyle's running pretty hot here since you jam with the ace 4 deuce deuce into about 3 players. And go heads up here to the turn. Again, Kyle with the best hand. Jordan also there with 3 of a kind 7s. Gonna need a king or an ace though. And the river's gonna come before. Kyle still has the best hand, just crushing. Here's 7s full of queens, and Jordan disgusted. Can't believe he can't outdraw this guy to his right. And that's a game sometimes. Sometimes you run hot, sometimes you run cold, and sometimes you can't feel like you can connect to anything. And but that was our first bomb pot of the night, a single board. Sometimes we run it with 2 boards. So if you get that in a PLO game, that just becomes insanity. Oh my gosh, like that is a lot of draws out there to try to keep up with. So we're going to move on to our next hand here at TCHLive. And my name is Mike Youngblood. Shout out to Carolyn Hapgo. To Swim is up the most on the night for 2,700. Kyle now up 1,400. He did bust his first buy-in. And since he has rebought into the game, has been on a heck of a heater. Just over about over 2.5 hours here into our cash game session. .50-second hand or played. And a raise up front for Mr. Moneymaker. Yeah, we're going to get Bones in there as well. In case an accomplished tournament professional. Cashed the WSOP main event here this past year, finishing 241st place. Made it to a final table in Choctaw back in August of 2018. Moans with the Queen Jack 9-8. Marco with the Ace Queen Queen 8. No suits. Champ with the suited ace. There we go. We got Jordan's hand of King 10 6-6. Flop's going to come ace 10 3. Here I thought somebody had a set, but top pair for Marco. Champ has got top 2. He'll give it up as not much for anybody else to draw to, and a bet fold from the table. So pass the sugar over there to seat number 10. Swim, most chips on the table are low stacks, Drew and Flash. Champ now with about 1,100. Shout out to Derek Diaz. He's been doing a great job with the commentary. Hey, I'll take that. That's had no idea how this was going to work out. As kind of mentioned in passing here, that you know, when you do baseball and softball and basketball and all those things, that, you know, they're great games, they're great sports, they're done at the high school level or sometimes the college level, that they're, you know, like where your enthusiasm really shines when somebody makes a big play. And here's just, this is more of a conversation that we're all strolling around with, and this conversation just got a little more exciting as we've not got just one straddle, not 2, not 3, but a quadruple straddle by Jordan for 80. He's got last action. See if anybody's going to come play, as Swim's going to raise it. Rudy now with the suited aces. Ace, ace, king 3. Facing a raise at 225. And I think this is where we're going to see the jam. We're going to see a repot here, as we don't know what exactly Swim has here in the spot, but I think these guys are willing to get it all in. And King, King, Queen 10. It's going to be a pot of either about $3,400 as they get this in before the card's out. 8-8-7. Ace is still lead. Deuce on the turn. And the river a 9 here on the first board. So we know we got multiple boards coming. Here comes the next. Queen 8-4. Still the best hand with aces, and 8s on the end. So aces and 8s for Jordan. Kings and 8s here for Swim. Jordan going to take a very, very comfortable ride to a place that we call Scoop City, as taking down both boards for a total of $3,400 and 5-5 PLO action here on TCHLive. I think that is our first real all-in pre-flop. As you see, the hands make sense why they both came in. Great job by Jeremy behind the box to get those cards read. Specific process as far as getting 2 boards read, and Carolyn out there as well. Okay, we mentioned here in the chat box we're hoping to publish our streaming schedule the next few days as we kind of piece together what will work for everybody. We are joined by Chris Moneymaker here on this 5-5 PLO cash game. This is day 4 of the Moneymaker Celebrity Poker Series here at Texas Card House. $10 straddle here as from Mr. Moneymaker. Described his name in translation. It's an old German name that apparently his ancestors had been coin makers. So as that name derived, it got later in time, was translated to Moneymaker. And I feel his pain if he's trying to explain the story of, his name not being real, and I feel like it's just an alias or something, but you had to walk around with that. I don't know if the novelty ever wore off, and if it did, he certainly doesn't show it, as he's got enthusiasm for every story, even ones that, you could probably tell he's told you Sammy Farha stories until his face turned green, but, I mean, he's got a same temperament and enthusiasm for the game that, all these years have passed, and it's still a big part of poker, so 10 of spade here on the turn of a flop of Jack 9-6 with 2 clubs. Moneymaker with a club flush draw. Straight now here for Marco, but the lower end of it. Bones going to bet. Bones going to raise the bet of 50 here with his kings. We haven't seen him make a move really on any pot for the majority of the night, but he's going to get called here by Flash. He's only got about 355 behind into a pot of 500. The 8-7 does give up the straight, so don't know what Flash's cards are, but the river is going to come out the ace of clubs, and Bones has the king of clubs in his hand, but Flash going to lead out at it, so Ace is a little perplexed. It's like, what are you betting here with? Like, I don't you see I have this? I have the king of clubs in my hand, man. You're just gonna bet right into me? It's like, all right, fine, I'll give this up. He shows the 10-4 of clubs, queen 10-8. So he did. Flash did turn a straight 8 to queen, and then river the 10 high flush, and a courageous bet. And one of the better players on the table there is chipping up a little bit more as we continue our 5-5 PLO cash game. Thank you, Seth. Appreciate it. Chime in here on the chat box on TCHLive. If you see that subscribe button, hit it so that you know when the next game is going to be run. Should give you a notification on your phone or your browser or anything that, hey, TCHLive's coming tonight, but we're expecting our next broadcast to be on a Thursday night at 6. Join us for that, and that game is to be determined. Well, our next hand, all right, Bones picking up some cards here. He's got ace, king, queen at 9. He's got a 3-bet. Unless we've got a straddle here. As Marco getting involved with the ace, king, jack 7, king 7 of hearts. Kyle in the straddle is going to see Mr. Moneymaker repopping it, repotting it here to 150. Not much of a hand. I mean, he's got suited king 10, 7, 3. But going to 3-bet this out of position and take the lead in the hand. Now Bones got the kind of hand he's not going to go away from. Marco will give up his ace, king, jack 7 out of position. So we go heads up. 2 legends. And a flop's going to come jack 9, 3. Both players with spades in their hand. Bones with the ace high flush draw. Some different combos, straight draws here for Moneymaker. And then he checks over to Casey in the cutoff, who's Gonna bet, and it looks like about 300 into a pot, about 345. Moneymaker may feel that, his queen may be good, his the 8 may be good, spade may be good. Right now, Bones has got the best hand technically with a pair of 9s and his over flush draw. Heads up, continue. Pot of 945. It's on Chris Moneymaker first. He checks. Bones going to check probably right behind him. He thinks here is. No, he probably doesn't fear that Chris is going to check bomb him here. Going to represent a big hand and fire the turn. Strong bet of 800. Moneymaker's going to call him. Oh my, look at this pot building up to 2,500. Here we go, river 4, disaster for Chris, but the nut flush for Bones. He's got 870 behind him. And he gets a bet and a call all in. Moneymaker moved in on the river, and the patience of Bones there in seat 3 pays off as lying in the weeds for a lot of the night and picked a perfect spot. And the board cooperated as it was able to river a nut flush. And we'll see what the numbers are once Casey scoops this here as $4,500 pot won there by Bones. Whew. That is a jump into the game here. Now he is chipped up in there again to 4,500 is. Yeah, that's a spot there where Moneymaker, I think, but when he's been used to playing against, more intermediate players or, good players, not actually exceptional players that, I think he'll look back here and that's probably one that he's going to want to have back. Even with the kind of combo draws that he has, like he's got enough experience in the game that, a King 10 7-3 doesn't really look like the greatest of hands, but he has been pretty splashy. He's played a lot of different varieties of hands, and that shows you the vulnerability of playing Pot Limit Omaha. But the way he played it was probably best. I mean, the result was not what he wanted, but he wanted to be the aggressor in the hand. He came out with a 3-bet pre-flop. Casey had called him. Led the flop. Or, no, excuse me, I believe he check called. Or, he check called the turn and the flop. So, bet of 300 on the flop, a bet of 800 on the river, and then jammed on the spade. Well, a chance to make up here as not Moneymaker with aces, a suited ace-jack. Champ with a primo hand in Omaha, Queen-Jack 10-10. And we'll see what Flash comes along with here as Marco in there with the ace 10-5-5. As we go 4 ways to a flop of ace, jack, 7. Top 2 here from Moneymaker. Excuse me, check that. He's got top set. Got a little better than top 2. He's got top set of aces. And he's going to bet 200. Champ's going to give it up. So will everybody else. So Moneymaker goes back to work after losing a big pot. He's added some chips to his stack. He's sitting at about 3,005 of Bones with the most chips on the table. Swim had taken a dent in his stack earlier. So we keep the action moving here on TCHLive. Well, in our next hand, we've got Bones with an ace-4, queen-9, double suited, clubs and spades. Marco's going to call on with the ace-jack-10 deuce, a suited 10 deuce. Moneymaker also in the mix with a 10-9, 7 deuce, and Kyle here with jack-8, 6-5, double suited. Jordan also got king, queen, 9, 8. As flop comes king, 7, 3, 2 diamonds. Jordan's got the best flush draw in top pair. They'll go see a turn of 3. Jordan's still technically got the best hand. Kyle's also got an inside straight draw. Checked around, and the river. Diamond flush here for Jordan and Kyle. Jordan's got the 9 high diamonds. I think anybody's going to really take a stab at this. It'll go to showdown, and the diamond flush can win. There you go, Jordan. Picks up some chips there. Erica rooting here for Bones, saying Sushi is going to be on Moneymaker this week. So I think Erica might have earned herself a nice meal. A lot of people with a lot of different food interests here at Texas Card House, and you want to deliver to here. All the apps. I mean, if you got you're a picky eater, you got to have something specific. We've allowed deliveries from all over the place, but if you're feeling hungry tonight, we've had Texas Roadhouse, sliders, baked potatoes. We've got pizza on Wednesdays and Fridays from Papa John's and Rudy's Barbecue on Saturday. And Moneymaker going to come out with a raise here with an ace 8, 5, 3 suited in diamonds. Drew's calling with jack, 8, 6. Champ of the mystery hand here has got it scanned. Calling with the queen 10, 8 deuce. Like Marco's hand, jack 9, 7, 6. But the board leans heavily to Moneymaker as it's 4, 4 deuce. He's got a wrap around straight draw. You overpair for Drew, the best hand, and Moneymaker, who had raised pre-flop, now bets on the flop and gets no resistance from anybody. Again, we've talked about it a lot. This, at least I have, as far as it's just jab, 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 jab. I mean, we saw Chris Moneymaker try to go for the knockout punch with the king 10, 7, 3. Bones, he does not have a glass jaw, and he packed a stronger punch with an ace-high flush draw. Has put a dent in Chris's action tonight, but as we saw on Saturday, more than happy to play PLO at all hours, and I think was here up until about 7 a.m. and then back at the afternoon here for our Sunday bounty tournament. As you saw on Instagram there, he got a couple of bounties collected, got the deal on the table for him a couple of times, and I've had a lot of moments in my life where I've just sort of sat there and said, I was kind of an idiot kid at 17, 18 years old and watching all this poker stuff going, hey, that'd be kind of cool to be a part of someday. And, once that wears off and you just kind of have a normal conversation, like, man, this Chris Moneymaker's an awesome dude. All right, we go 5 ways to a flop. This is raised up to 30 out of the straddle with the flop of king 9, 3. Top pair here for Jordan, but going to come out and lead at it. Got some backdoor hearts as well. Not many strong draws for anybody, as I think everybody will quit and ship another pot there to seat 8. The action continues here on 5-5 PLO for TCHLive. Again, if you have not subscribed, or if you know somebody who's a big poker fan and loves watching, you share this link with them, let them know TCHLive is happening, and that if they subscribe, they've got 1 hour free here to play at Texas Card House. A progressive bonus this month here for the month of January. Again, play for 5 hours straight. Again, you're checked in, you're playing cash games for 5 hours straight. Here, 20% off your hourly rate. 7 hours straight, save 30% off. And if you play for 10 hours straight, that's 40% off your hourly rate. Only at Texas Card House. Got it raised by Drew on the button with aces. Nothing suited though, or excuse me, he's made the call. Moneymaker getting ambitious here as we'll raise it on up to 180. This is not a great spot here for aces. It's the kind of hand that Chris has works multi-ways. But if Drew can get a good flop here, he can dodge some bad cards. And that's not the one flop he was looking for, as it's going to be a flop straight, turn straight on board number 1. See if he has better luck on board 2. Flop comes queen 9-5. Not still hanging on, and it's going to be aces and 5s. So it'll be a chop pot. Ran it with 2 boards. Moneymaker got the first with a straight, flopped a straight, and board pairs on the end, and the naked aces are good. And that's the tough part about this game, where aces are such a significant favorite on the hold'em side of things that to get it in Omaha, it's tough to be a real strong favorite unless maybe you share some of the same combinations out of the other two, so I think that frustrates a lot of hold'em players, and I think you see overpairs overplayed at times, and understandably so if you're just learning the game, but I think a lot of players have shown a lot of restraint in this game. As far as, you haven't really seen a whole lot of 3-bets. We certainly haven't seen a whole lot of 4-bets. This player's mostly taken this multiple ways and not making too big over-the-top gambles, but that could change, so keep tuned here at TCHLive. Expected to go 7 ways. Let's see if we get everybody's cards up here. Swim with the King, Queen, 8-6. Some other junky combinations. King, Jack, Deuce. Looks like swim with the best hand with a pair of kings. Unless Bones has got something underneath there. And turn going to come a jack. Kings and jacks here for swim. Nobody else biting though. Now the river of 3, and it's a backdoor flush here for Drew. 10-7 of spades going to get checked around. He's got a little flush on a paired board, and there's the exodus of cards thrown into the muck, and the pot being shipped to Drew. You'll see that a lot while multi-ways. It's just check, 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 check all the way around. And chip count, Bones up to 4.3, swim just under 4K. So we've got a single and double straddle here as folks chiming in on potential locations to possibly celebrate. Don't forget to invite me, guys. Do anything really fun. Can oh boy. Let's continue here on TCHLive as Drew now with a suited ace 9 king. We'll call the double straddle. Marco here in the mix. We'll call it, and Moneymaker will check his option out of the straddle. All right, King Jack 7-6, and the flop's going to come Queen 8 deuce. Drew's actually technically got the best hand of nines, but now I got an open-ended straight draw from Moneymaker. And he bets 25. And everybody else just going to give it up as continues. Jordan sitting with about 3,500. Got it in with aces against kings. Against Swim, that Swim was nearly up to 6,000, and Jordan with just enough of a stack as it got bet 4 bet all in that gambled and ran 2 boards, and his aces held up. We talked a little bit about Moneymaker's history in Omaha, especially specifically in tournament play. Won a $360 Omaha 8 or better at the WPT Seminole Hard Rock. That back a year ago, January 2019. Also won a tournament in 2013. He talked about Monte Carlo, and I said, man, I don't want to ever go to Monte Carlo again. I said, what's so wrong about Monte Carlo? And I said, well, it costs like $100 to get like a cheeseburger from a hotel. Wi-Fi is not very good, and everybody's... Yeah, so it's not. I just got the sense like, if you're a common dude, this is not Monte Carlo might not be your place. Maybe for James Bond though. So, all right, King 6-6. We go 3 ways. Marco had raced it up to 15, called in 2 spots. I'm trying to read his hand here and get a gauge of what he's got. He's got the King Queen, Jack, so kings and sixes. Excuse me, 6-6-3 board. Marco's going to make a bet, and we'll draw the fold. He's still looking for his first real big pot here tonight, but some of these are just like you get the situations unfold to you, you get matched up with a hand that you have advantage on, and sometimes you can go through real dry spells where it's just like, okay, I got raced out of this hand, and I didn't hit a draw here, I didn't flop a draw here, so I couldn't go nuts. It's all right. 63rd hand of this session of 5-5 PLO. See Kyle absent from the table. Rudy now here with the Queen 8-8-4. Drew is 7-7-6-4. Trying to pick out the notable hands that Moneymaker had come in for a raise with a very nice ace-9, 8-7 double suit, or excuse me, single suited with diamonds. Everybody with reasonable hands enough to be in there. Technically, the champ's got the best hand with ace, king, jack, 5, but lesser diamonds, it comes ace, queen, 5. Aces and 5s for the champ. A pair of aces here for Moneymaker, and we'll see if the champ's just going to call here as a bet of 85 is made towards him. So we go heads up to the turn as Moneymaker first to act here out of position. And he'll continue to let it go. Barrels the turn for a pretty healthy sized bet at 275, but he's not scaring the champ, who's got, again, aces and 5s, an inside straight draw. These guys have tangled up in some big pots here tonight, and here we go to round 3. And the river is a 3 of hearts. Doesn't change anything. And a bet going to be made here by the champ as Moneymaker will give it up, and probably figured his ace and 5s had to be good, but ran to that risk. Moneymaker may have had it flush, but confident enough to make the bet out, and champ chips up to 1,300. Next hand here of TCHLive. Again, join us on Thursday at 6 as our next scheduled stream. Our broadcast here at Texas Card House. We hope to have a streaming schedule soon as far as the kind of games we expect to run. But if you don't get enough of your TCH fit, you're sitting there in traffic and you're saying, God, the guy in front of me can't drive. Well, pull over and subscribe to the From the Felt podcast. Join Bill, Sam, and Ryan as they talk to poker personalities all throughout the state of Texas and employees throughout our several locations. Had Victor, the new GM, down at the Rio Grande Valley at the Edinburgh location on. Gig Pigs and the OGs of Austin poker scene have come a long way. Clap, clap, salute. And I agree, man. This is it's been quite a journey here at TCH the past couple of years, and imagine for the folks that have been here for quite a longer time in Austin, just to see how all this has unfolded has got to be a sight to behold. But Bones has got aces, suited aces, in fact. Moneymaker with the Jack 8 6-5 will put out a feeler bet here with his second and third pair. Flash. Thinking about it here with a pair of kings, and Moneymaker will get called by Bones. Take it here to the turn. It's Jordan out of the way. Looks like it is going to be heads up. So we update the action tracker. Here we go. Side-to-side view between Moneymaker and Casey. So bet of 60 on the flop. And the turn comes a queen. Few more odds there for Casey that he can make a queen to make aces up, aces and queens. And he's going to lead out here on the turn, and Moneymaker will give up his jacks and 6s. Kind of a terrible turn card for him, as a lot of better two-pair combinations and straight draws I got there, and astute read there by Bones to make a bet when it's checked to him. Was now up to about 4,200. See if we get any gigantor pots here before the end of the night. Yeah, my name is Mike Youngblood, a dealer here at Texas Card House, sports broadcast personality, and worlds have collided as I've gone from the sideline here to the TCH studio. Safe and secure back here as we replay the action here on a 30-minute delay using our RFID technology and action tracker, stuff that you've seen on live in the back when we have it here at Texas Card House. We may also have a taste of live at the bike in our own way here soon here on our broadcast. We'll keep that a mystery for y'all. That in the biz is what we call a little tease. We're expected to stream here up until what about 10 o'clock here tonight, guys? Is that what and then is our expected schedule to run about a 4-hour cash game. Action I think will still continue after the cameras come off, but Swim gonna raise it now with a 10-9, 8-6 suited 10-9 of spade. Moneymaker here for the action calls with the Jack 10 7-5. And we will go heads up here between two of the big stacks. And actually check that Moneymaker had 3-bet to 140 on the button. As gonna pump some love into that pot as heads up between Swim and it's gonna come ace 9 8. Flush draw and a straight draw. Semi-wrap there with a Jack 10 7 around the 8 9. Two pair here for Swim, 9s and 8s. But he's seen Moneymaker 3-bet. And he's got to wonder, okay, if any of those 3-betting combos have an ace in them, or he's also got a straight draw to a 7. It would be to a lesser straight. So turn comes a 3 of spades. Again, a dangerous board here for Swim, only with 9s and 8s. And Moneymaker's going to put a sizable bet of 670. And that pot was just around 725, 700 or so, and he's going to play his position semi-bluff to take a nice pot. They're by far the most aggressive player on the table between Swim. Just how often is making a bet or raising a bet. Kyle there, Swim there, around 40%, and you know what I like about these cameras here is that you can see, you can actually see what rap video that Champ is watching there in C10. Like, you can see it pretty good. Casey probably knows more who it is than I do, but give me Wu-Tang Clan or give me nothing. All right, so Champ's got a 9-8-7-6. Marco's got a Ace-Jack 5-3, double suited. And flop's going to come Queen 7 deuce. Doesn't look like anybody's got a stranglehold on this hand. As don't know necessarily what Moneymaker has, but he's betting 100. Nobody's going to come along for the ride as bet fold. As another small pot for Chris Moneymaker is now up to 3,900. In this portion of the cash game session tonight at 5-5 PLO on Texas Card House Live. Hashtag TCHLive. What's up, Jeremy? Doing a pretty nice job here behind the box. As all of our dealers pretty well trained by our management staff. That's certainly been a priority. As not only having competency when you walk in the door when you're hired, but also continuing to grow and expand your skills to give that best experience to our players. I know firsthand. I started here. I wasn't very good, but enough training, enough people behind that had some patience, and I think I'm pretty good, decent. I'll give myself that much, decent. All right, Ace Queen 7-7. Jordan had 3-bet the opening raise of Moneymaker of his Queen King 10-5. Flop comes 10-8-4. Top pair for Moneymaker. It's going to go check. Turn comes a jack. Big card here for Chris as he's turned an open-ended straight draw into a 9 or an ace. Jordan with ace queen high, pair sevens. Not much to draw to, and inside straight to a king, and Chris gonna show that queen and try to represent maybe that he got queen 9, but he might have thought that he made a better hand fold, but as we can see there that he was in the best shape. So chip count continues. Bones and Moneymaker both at about 4,000. All right, next hand here at TCH. The 69th hand of the night. You guys can make your own jokes about that. I am not going there. Because I am no longer 12. All right, so we've got our next hand here, Moneymaker, going to open up here for 20. All right, we've got 3 players going to a flop. The champ here with ace, king, jack, 7, all those hearts. Drew also in the mix. Flop comes king, jack. Best hand here for champ. We don't know what Drew has, but unless he also has king, jack here, the better guess is he probably has a jack with a queen or a jack with a... Maybe he's got a jack with an ace, but I guess is probably putting a feeler bet out there. Turn's going to come a deuce. Again, as we can see, champ with the best hand with jacks full of kings. Goes check. River comes a 4 of spade. And it's going to be a bet here by champ on the end with 3 spades on the board, but he's got a jacks full of kings. He's thinking about calling, though, so I think he's got to have a jack in his hand in order to do it. And maybe he rivered backdoor spades, but we may never know, folks. Well, we're just about 3.5 hours into our cash game session. Gig Pig making a comment. A sidekick commentator in the booth would be cool. I agree. Like when we had Sam on, it's a good diversity of opinions. I just want to avoid that, like the thing that Live on the Bike does, where it feels like they get 8 guys in the booth and all they're doing is just screaming. It's just like you've got. I mean, it's kind of cool to have that reactive part of it, of a variety of opinions, but it has a lot of traffic to navigate as a host. So as it is, it's just sort of like, who do you say yes to? Who do you say no to? It's like it's all that, all stuff that's not easy decisions. But I have a few people in mind that I think would be great for some of these, and we'll certainly work with anybody, except if they're with ISIS. We definitely say no to those guys. They're not cool. We do not support ISIS here. But all kidding aside, again, Big O game tomorrow night at 2-5 with Chris Moneymaker. The last day of the Celebrity Poker Series tomorrow. Also with mixed limit cash games. Tuesday night is... Alright, we've got 4 ways. Here to a flop. Moneymaker had 3-bet up to 200, and he's got an ace-queen, a 10-9. A champ's got aces, though. No suits as it comes out 8-4-6. 2 spades. Marco has got a flush draw. Flash has got a flush draw. Champ has got the ace of spades, though, but Flash going to push it all in as he's flopped top set and a flush draw. And a lock on this hand. Does anybody have anything they can call with? And they cannot. Push some chips over there to seat number 4. See, Kyle's been pretty tight lately. He was on a run where he went on a lot of hands and playing fairly snug as of late. Let's see if any other players pick up on that. 10 and a $20 double straddle. So we pretty much had the same 9 players here for the duration of this cash game as... I think the players will still have a chance to play 5-5 with Chris as the night continues, so no fear. You may not make it here onto the stream, but you can still make it on the table. I know there's still several players on the wait list to get onto that, and Chris will put in long hours. I imagine he'll be here a while, so still want to get your selfies in and talk to Chris. I think he'll have some time here for you within the next day or two. Couple of 1-2 no limit games going on, a 5-5 no limit game going on as well, and also a 1-3 no limit. So we go 4 ways to a flop, and well, just top set. Pot size bet here by Flash. Anybody have much to call him with? Nope, and it'll be a pretty lackadaisical top set of aces that get no action. Five PLO continues here on TCHLive. My name is Mike Youngblood, Dealer Mike, here at TCH. I had one guy say to me, it's like, I never knew you talked. Every time I'm here, you never say anything, and it's just, just always keeping you guessing, folks. Kind of imperative to... It's kind of the way I explain it here as a broadcaster. It's always on. You always kind of save yourself for the red light, and then off we go. But kind of more introverted outside of you know, if you get me talking, I can go around for a while. But for the most part, on the table, I'm gonna mostly shut up. So that's why I've kind of enjoyed this opportunity to really talk with all of you, just because flop's gonna come ace-7 king, a set of sevens here for Jordan, but nobody with anything else, as we'll keep it going. Okay. Well, action winding down here over the next half hour or so. But still room on the list here for the 5-5 PLO game with Chris Moneymaker here throughout the evening, so still a chance to play with them. Here, if you've got some late night hours in you, I think I'll be here as well. So if you want to give me like a high five or maybe a little dap or hurl insults my way, you know, hey, I'll be around. I'll be mad enough to take it. All right, do your worst. Should be a lot easier if we do get a camera in here. Then you've got a lot more to work with to make fun of me with. So, all right, all jokes aside, we've got 6 players to a flop. Jordan with some kings as it comes Jack-9-6 with 2 diamonds. Bones has got a set of 9s and a flush draw. Moneymaker has Queen-9 or Queen-4 of diamonds and got a bet on the flop, a bet of 100 here by Casey. And it's going to get called here in one spot. Nope, nobody's calling him. Just like that, bet and everybody folds. So we continue here on Texas Card House Live. Bones up 1,600. Kyle's up 1,300. All 4 cards coming out to the players is. And over at Wednesday, we have a 2K guaranteed free roll. For any of you folks, hey, maybe some of the bigger buy-in tournaments a little too much, or you're a beginning player, like, where do I start? How do I get into this game? And I know a lot of people who are interested in the game, like the game, but thinking like, wait, how in the world can I do this without, going broke and giving up a mortgage on my house? Like, you don't have to do that. You can play in the free roll, 2K guaranteed prize pool, $20 for every add-on or rebuy, but you do get your first 10K free just for coming in through the door. Check in here at the front desk and be a part of our Wednesday and Saturday free rolls at Texas Card House. As flop comes 8-3 deuce. The nice draw here for the champ. Moneymaker is going to take a small bet of 15 with his jacks. Kyle's going to call with his kings. Jordan has got something there. He's working with something, but champ's going to raise it on up with a big draw. 5-4 straight draw. Also with the 6s as well. I was feeling frisky, like, hey man, let's raise it up to 375. And Marco has got top paired. But I mean, that doesn't mean too much. Thinks about it. Gonna give it up. Moneymaker will as well. I mean, Kyle's technically got the best hand here, and see if Jordan's got some gamble on him, and it's like, nah. You, Mr. Dealer, can take those cards back. I don't want them no more. Nice move there by Champ. We decided to take an aggressive stab with a draw. New hand, a PLO here for our players. Plenty of folks in line waiting to get in this game, and Moneymaker had raised it up with the King of Hearts, Deuce of Hearts, and the 6-4 clubs. Drew's going to call him here with deuces and an ace-8 of hearts. Go to a flop, ace, king, 10. Continues. And Drew's going to give it up with an ace with no kicker. And, you know, sometimes, again, like, just small punches. Chris has shown the least amount of fear here on the table. I got him kind of stuck in a bad spot with bones, but I think against all the smaller stacks, it just feels like I can kind of push around. As you see the hands that went to showdown. Kyle has gone to showdown the most. Jordan at about 31%, Swim at about 29%. All these numbers fairly normal. So those in the chat box, I think we got to have a vote here. What's been your hand of the night so far? What's been your favorite hand that you've seen or thought was the most interesting, or if you went and replayed it? So, all right, here's this one for thought. Well, take your vote for hand of the night here in the chat box here on TCHLive. And don't forget, if you see that subscribe button, you click it and you earn yourself a 1 hour free play here at Texas Card House. Tell your friends, man. If you got a brother that plays poker, your cousins. Kyle with 3 kings in his hand will limp on the button. At least he's got suited spades, so hand's not totally worthless, but it's tough to have 3 of kind in your hand and make much of it. But you know, worth $5 call. Certainly worth another $10 here in late position, but just kind of one you can't really get overzealous about. And with Jordan with a king in his hand, his setouts are eliminated as flop becomes Jack, Jack 9. The champ in C10 with Jacks full. Jordan is first to act out of the small blind. Will check, check. Swim. Here with his nut diamond draw, we'll put a feeler out to see where he gets called by. And Jordan with king high diamonds. Could he be thinking about a raise? And if you're sitting there at seat 10, you're like, okay, all right, if you guys want to raise it, here comes a raise. Gonna pop it up here to 2,935. And Jordan, who has an inside straight draw to a 10, and the king high diamond draw, is going to give it up, and rightfully so. Lawrence, his vote goes to when Moneymaker thought his 10 high flush draw was good. I think that's probably the best. I think that might be our hand of the night. Between Bones and Moneymaker, just kind of how it transpired. Because, I don't know. There's still a possibility we could have another big hand before our broadcast is done. Plenty of opportunities for this guy. A lot of chips on the table. We'll see if we've got any more. Rudy straddle with easily the hand of the night. This $80 quadruple straddle. Yes, I agree. I think when he got all in aces versus kings and he ran 2 boards and he run it, that's certainly a contender for hand of the night. Let the fireworks begin, folks, because we've got ace, 5, and a raise up to 50 is Swim coming along with king 9, 8 deuce. Drew here with queen 10, 9, 8, 10, 9 of clubs. Jordan's got ace 5 deuce, so all the 5s are out. Jack 7-3 with 2 spades and an ace high flush draw. Here for Champ. Swim has got an 8 high flush draw, so he'll lead at it. With his aces and his flush draw. I don't know if anybody really has anything else here. Drew's got kind of an inside straight draw. Can make one any straight here with a 10, 9, or 8. With a 2 spade board, a bet of 200, I'm not sure it's going to be one that he wants to gamble on as we keep it going here on TCHLive. You want to follow us on Facebook too. You can search for us at Texas Card House. Twitter as well. The main account at Texas Card House. The Twitter account, I think it's TCHATX for our specific Austin location. Again, for Instagram here at our North Austin location, TCH.ATX. For our Houston viewers, if you want to find out what's happening there at Spring, Texas and North Houston, follow them at TCH.HTX. And for a location in Edinburgh, TCH.RGV. All right, so our next edition of TCHLive is going to be on Thursday night at 6 o'clock. Got a 5-5 no limit hold'em game wait list. I think we will start the stream around 5:15. Call up to the front desk to get on the list now. If you want to get on the list into this game, do so now. Call us. What is the phone number? Check here. 512-956-7195. We got action here on the table. The King 4 deuce. Top set here for Champ. Drew now with aces and a straight draw. Moneymaker, who made a jab here with bottom set. And we could get a big explosive pot here if this continues. See how Champ wants to play this. Is he just going to make the call, or is he going to bump it up more? Everybody getting out of the way here as we'll whittle down the field as Drew is all in with his aces. Got shot straight draw to a wheel for a 3. Also has some backdoor heart opportunities, but Champ with top set. Moneymaker with bottom set. And oh my gosh. He is 3-betted up to 715. Moneymaker in a tough spot. Likely what's in there He's going to have to probably make a call here, but as we can see, he's drawn pretty thin. May have some backdoor draws. So here we go. Turn. A 6 of clubs. And the river comes a queen. Champ has got top set with a king. And he's going to scoop a big one here. As the struggles for Moneymaker continue, as we've seen 78% of the time tonight, he has put money in the pot, has played a lot of small pots, taken a lot of jabs here and there, and that's kind of the run risk of with 8-5 deuce deuce is it's just hard to get away from it because I feel like, okay, I've got a set, I've made it, I've made it. I've got a gold mine of a hand, and Champ there with top set. Takes this round of Moneymaker versus Champ here on TCHLive. But again, 5-5, no limit is going to be our Thursday show. Get on the list as soon as you can. If you want to make an appearance, you call 512-956-7195. Again, that's 512-956-7195 to be a part of our running 5-5 game. From 6 to 10 p.m. Game's going to start about 5:15. Again, we do run these on a delay, so we air at about 6 o'clock, but the action for it starts a little bit sooner. As always, if you want updates, Instagram is your best place to go, or if you're actually really the best place to go is TexasCardHouse.com. So our action winding down here for a 5-5 PLO game with Chris Moneymaker. All night long here at TCH North Austin. Looks like Drew has busted his buy-in, so that has opened a seat, so we may see if we get another player coming on in. Flash is going to call 5 under the gun. Marco and Chris giving up their hands. Now Kyle will call with the Jack 9-8-7. Rudy here with Jordan with Ace Jack 5 deuce double suited. Bones with the old 10-7-6-6. Jordan had raced it up to 25, and then we get a 3-bet. Hereby swim up to 100. We do not know his cards, but Champ also in the mix here with Queen, Queen, Jack 6. And does he feel like calling 75 more? He does not. Heads up here to a flop. These guys tangled up early on with aces versus kings pre-flop. See what Swim has here this time as card reader not quite picking it up yet, but ace jack 5 deuce brings out a flop of 8-7-4 and enough here for Swim to make a bet. And Jordan with not much to draw to will give it up as well. We only know that Swim won that hand. Again, still taking your suggestions as far as what the hand of the night was here on our stream. Got a couple of votes for Bones' flush draw against Moneymaker. The ace-high flush draw to the 10-high flush draw. I think Jordan's and Swim's all-in pre-flop hand was action-packed. We had that King's full. Kind of feel bad because a lot of the really interesting hands were the ones that Moneymaker lost, and there's a lot of hands that he's won tonight that just weren't, there wasn't anybody else really in him in the pot with it that could draw to something, and certainly seems like a fun guy to play with, and Marco's actually going to move there to seat 9, see if seat 9's a little luckier. Players will do that often here in our cash games, is you run kind of bad on a spot, or maybe you don't like your position if you've got an aggressive player here to your left, or try to reposition themselves on the table for maybe hope of changing the luck around. So go 4 ways to a flop. Don't know Marco's hand is try to get it red, but he will bet 50 on a flop of ace 8-5. And let's see who else is joining us here. I think it's wonder, is that Michaela coming on in? Well, whoever's coming there to where Marco was sitting will be in for the big blind. And see if they post as we continue here on Texas Card House Live again tomorrow, the last day of the Celebrity Poker Series with Chris Moneymaker, 2-5 Big O, the mixed and a big mixed limit cash game. I believe 5-10 is supposed to be the game, but alright, so we're going to give out 4 cards to everybody. Here, Moneymaker in town from Nashville, Tennessee, where he calls home, and gets to spend some time traveling on the road otherwise with his family. His dog, I asked him about how his dog was doing. He posted on Twitter that his dog that he's had for about 15 years old. Took kind of a rough spell, but on the mend, so I think he's got a little puppy as well on his showed on his Instagram at cmoneym21. So really, folks, there's a lot of depressing stuff out there on social media. So it's pretty simple. If I see a dog, I like it. I smash that heart button. Swim's going to raise it up here in the cutoff, up to 60, as Kyle's got a nice 7-6-6-5 hand. What? He's got to give it up. Well, it looks like we're going to go 3 ways. Swim's got ace, king, jack 3 with spades. Queen, jack 4-4 versus ace 7-9-4 as it comes 5-4 king. Nobody with hearts. That appears to be the last hand for Kyle. As be getting up from the table. Swim has got a pair of kings, but a set of 4s now for Moneymaker. Swim's going to come out here for a raise. Or check that, I'm sorry. It is Jordan that's got a set of 4s, so I got this backwards. So we've got Swim with a top pair and an inside straight draw to a deuce. And Jordan has got bottom set, as Moneymaker had gotten out of the way, and I don't anticipate Jordan's really going to be able to get much away from this. As ambitious raise, though, by Swim at this point in the game. Maybe feels like Jordan's got a hand weak enough that it can push him off of, and as we can see, Jordan also with some backdoor club possibilities if he needs a redraw. You can see a near 3-1 favorite with his set. But it's a big decision. You could put Swim there. He's made the raise. He could think that, he's got a set of kings, and we haven't seen him go too crazy, but we'll see the bluff shown. Jordan shows his hand, and probably want that one back, but you never know how the cards goes. Moneymaker, by far the most aggressive pre-flop raiser. For 41% of his hands, he's coming for a raise. We'll continue here on TCH, the action winding down here on our live stream. The actual game itself, the 5-5 game, will continue here throughout the night. As I believe this is probably going to be our last hand. As this seeing rocks coming out here. That is all right. This may be our last hand here. As yeah, Jordan's got the 10 straddle. As maybe we got a mix up here as far as well. Either way, we will get a flop here to close the night. And all right, we'll keep your fingers crossed, folks. Maybe we'll get some action here, something exciting. Swim going to raise it up here with ace queen 10-6, double suited. Marco's got jack 9-5. Jordan looks like he's going to play as well. Michaela out of the big blind. Going to get out here as Champ, who had called 5 pre-flop, has to call 25 more, and it brings us to a flop of 9-5 deuce with 2 diamonds. Moneymaker there with a queen 6-5. Marco with the 9s and 5s. Comes out with a bet here at 75 on the flop. As Swim's not going to call with this 10 high flush draw. Not much for Moneymaker to call with either. And now Rudy's also got 9s and 5s, but he's also got a gutter ball with it to draw to a 4. Just, you know what? Let's just go away here. As well, that looks like it is our last hand of the night here as far as our streaming hands of TCHLive of 5-5 PLO. Again, a shout out to all of our dealers who dealt in this game, to producer Carolyn, running the action tracker, executive producer Ryan, behind the controls here as we round third and head for home here on TCHLive. I think we got one more in us here, don't we? This is going to be the very last hand, so we've got a single and a double straddle. And thank you to all those tuning in. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't yet. Hey man, we forgive you. Just go ahead and do it. Champ here went off the straddle. Going to call 20. Bone's going to raise it up. Here up to 85. Roughly 90. Here on the double straddled pot. And Bones has got aces with a king 8. Suited ace 8 of hearts. Swim with queen 6-4. Says, yeah, I'll take a flop too. So let's go 3 ways here to our last hand of the night on TCHLive. Champ has got queen jack 9 as we go 3 ways to a flop. Queen 7-7. Queen's full for Swim. Champ has made top pair, and Bones has got the overpair with the aces, but he's not going to go too wild as it comes to turn a king. Heart flush draw, but again, Bones drawn only 2 and ace. And with a bet of 125. So his aces might be good, might have a redraw in the event Swim maybe has like a 7, like a naked 7. As we can see, he's well behind. Kings here on the river. Queens full of kings. Bones has made 3 of a kind kings. So, I mean, he can't beat the hands where Swim has got only a 7 in his hand, but as we can see, he can't beat the queens full. And it's going to be a tough laydown for him if he can make it. And he's going to call him, and he's going to see he's got He's been beat by the Queen's full. I mean, well with it. I mean, it's not going to fall case there for calling. There's a lot of hands he can beat that the board ran out favorably for him, but just happened to run into the one that really smashed some of that is Queen's full. So Moneymaker had lost 3,200 in the game tonight. Swim and Champ and Bones, all winners. And you are all winners for tuning in to TCHLive, as we appreciate you being a part of this, our third edition of our broadcast here at Texas Card House in North Austin. We saw a lot of great hands. We saw a lot of action, and we had a lot of fun being on the call here. Again, hit that subscribe button for a free hour of play here at Texas Card House, and our promotion as far as progressive savings. Again, 5 hours straight for earn you 20% off, 7 hours straight, 30% off, and 10 hours straight gets you 40% off here on your hourly rate at Texas Card House. So, well, that is a night for us here. We're going to wrap things up. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody. We'll see you next time, Thursday night at 6 o'clock. 5-5, no limit. If you want to get on the list for that, call 512-956-715 now. Call them now if you want to get on that interest list. Otherwise, we will see you Thursday night. Good night, everybody.